Game begin.
Off-seas, we've been around for about two to 3 years now. We started during the pandemic. We started with virtual tournaments, getting students, from across the province to be able to play together. One of our short-term and long-term goals has been to, provide an opportunity for an in-person event. We actually have teams coming from all over the province. Some of the other titles that we've supported through OFSI has been League of Legends, Smash Brothers, Valorant. So we of course have Rocket League. And our most recent one will be Minecraft Education. So we try to choose whatever title our players want to play. So as long as we have demand for a title, that's the title we go with.
Welcome to competitive Call of Duty, a high-octane competitive shooter. In Call of Duty esports, 2 teams of 4 players each compete across various game modes like Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, and Control. Each mode requires unique strategies, whether it's capturing objectives, planting and defusing bombs, or controlling specific areas of the map. Callouts are key, as movement is much quicker than strategy-based shooters like Valorant or Counter-Strike, so your enemies may change positions fast. Players join the lobby with set loadouts, including choice of kill streak. Get enough kills in a row, and you might be able to turn the tide with some extra firepower. What it be, what it do? Welcome back to Conestoga College here at the Waterloo campus. We're getting ready to watch some Condors athletes make some action happen. I'm Leaf, and I'm hanging out with TMC, a special guest tonight. Wait, what are you doing over here? You're supposed to be playing.
Yeah, I decided not going to load in on the server side.
Okay, you were a little overpowered, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was?
Yeah, take a week off.
So I like the joke. Where's the gold jersey, though?
That's on the
wall. You want to be humble today?
Yeah.
I brought my gold jersey.
I want to get a second one. Put it on the wall beside the other one.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm down for it. I mean, the way the squad's looking so far, you might be able to do that. But again, as we said, you're sitting out today. We're looking at the ACAD team today. We'll be watching Varsity later at 8:30. So after this series is done, don't leave us. Make sure to stick around. We do have more happening after. But it's Call of Duty all night tonight. We are watching, as I said, the ACAD's team first. You see them right in front of you. Let's start talking about them, who we're seeing. You can know these guys intimately because you play with them. Talk to me about your squad.
Yeah, definitely. As we're seeing on screen here, we have Wrench on the left side and Wing on the right side. Wrench is a little bit newer of a player to the Condors esports. Wing's been here for the last 2 years. He was part of the roster that won the gold jerseys.
Yes,
both really talented players. Wing has also done a little bit of casting here. I believe he did Rocket League and League of Legends last night.
He's been on the mic a few times now. Yep.
And we can kind of see on the left side now, you have T and Savvy. Savvy, another veteran, has been here for a while now.
Played Varsity for a bit.
For a bit. He joined me on Academy for a bit. Decided, hey, I want to go play with Taylor again back on the Academy squad. And then we have Tyler T. Stubbs. Great Call of Duty player. Even though he hasn't been with the Condors long, he's has experience within collegiate COD, came from another college, said, you know what, I want to go join those Condors and try to win a gold jersey.
Hey, he's been a good addition. I think just around the board, you'll see him wandering around even when he's not playing too, helping out with production and stuff too. Great asset to both production team and the ACAD team as well. Let's talk about, because I brought it up before, the possibility of winning another gold jersey. I mean, looking at the standings now, where you guys sit in this, you're going to be facing off against Northeast, I believe today. This team only has 1 win, and that's off CapTech, who forfeited all their games. So technically they're 0-3. You guys did technically play CapTech though, didn't you?
Yeah, we played CapTech first week. We won 3-1. We decided, let's be nice week 1, give them a map. And then they kind of decided, you know what? We're done for the year. We're going to go play BO7. So they forfeited the rest of their season and happened to give a free win off to the team.
I was going to say, they faced the Condors once and gave up on the rest of the season. Let's let that one sink in. But yeah, let's talk also about what we're going to be seeing today for the squad. You said it's a bit odd for you sitting out right now, and you're going to have to sit a little longer here. Hopefully not too long. It should be a 3-0. But let's maybe start talking about maps as well, because I saw Hossie right off the beginning before.
Yeah, I believe we're starting with a double Hossie, and then we go into a control on Vault, and then Skyline and Red Card. I would say we're a pretty solid team on Hacienda. I would say it's one of our go-to maps.
Yep.
I wouldn't say it's our best map, but it looks like the other team maybe decided to ban our best map.
Right.
And then going into a Vault control, we're pretty dominant on it. Skyline, we're still trying to figure some things out on it, but I think this is the right competition, take some risks.
Right. Well, the thing too is there's a possibility we don't even see that fun around, so it doesn't even matter if Skyline's not strong. I mean, I think when it comes to vetoes to bans, you guys came out pretty good from the looks of it in today's matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I think this was one of the teams that we looked at. Let's try to get for sure some maps that we are comfortable within, but also take a little bit of a risk. Try to get official matches in on these maps. Kind of looking. If we do make the grand finals being a best of 7, maybe these are some maps that we can kind of bring into those series with comfort.
Now, I want to talk about what we're going to see in game here. Obviously, getting Wrench involved and in the mix was the goal here for this week, which is why we got blessed by you on the mic here. So I'm curious, what the goals are, the anticipation for Wrench, and what we're trying to do today, and maybe if we can watch and see if we're seeing that success happen for the team's goals.
Yeah, definitely. Wrench is somebody we found a couple weeks ago, but we didn't want to just throw him into a match right away. We thought that would kind of be a little bit hard. Sometimes
you get nervous.
Nervous, pressure. So he's been subbing into some of our scrimmages recently, and we kind of liked the progression he's shown throughout those scrims. And we kind of said, maybe this guy deserves a shot with an official match. We kind of looked at the opponent that we're playing tonight and said that could be a good opportunity for Wrench to kind of get his first glance at collegiate COD.
That's great. So we're hoping to see that he fits in with the team today well. And again, if there are any nerves or anything, that he's already shooken them off. I mean, have you guys played some matches with him already, just off stream?
Not official matches.
Oh, so this will be his first official match.
Yeah, this is his first official match for the Condors, which luckily enough, it's on stream. Not many people get to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been in a few scrimmages with us, as well as we've played some tournaments with him. He's subbed in for a few different ones.
Yep.
Tonight he'll be playing in an AR role. A lot of the leading up to this, he's been playing in a sub machine gun role. Right. But I'm very confident that he's gonna kind of take the reins like I usually do and fill my shoes quite well. Yeah,
that's a lot to ask too. Also, again, hopefully he's got the mental for it. I mean, it seemed like they were in a good spirit. This is a good one to go into, knowing confidently that the matchup should be yours as well. Now it's easy to let hubris get in the way and overstep what you should be doing and throw some matches. We've seen that before, but I think this is a good match for him to hop into and really get in the rhythm of stuff. On the other side of him, straight across from him, Savvy. I want to talk about him a little bit because, we've seen Savvy play a lot, again, with the Varsity squad. He's been on stream a lot before. But you're talking to me about his play style right now. He's a hold the analog stick forward kind of guy.
Yeah, he definitely is probably one of the more aggressive players on this roster. Him coming to Academy, we kind of said, you know what? Savvy, you get to play the type of COD you like to play, and we will play around you. Yeah. He's still got great fundamentals. I taught him those day one back in NW3, but he can now play his game. He's kind of our star player on this roster, and I tell him, you know what, just run.
That's good. I mean, again, think back to Condor's rosters of old. I mean, you think back to someone like Frizzy too, right? Like that's kind of that role I guess we're expecting him to see. Just kind of get in there and just start fragging.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be what we call the most annoying person on the map. You know, 1 second he's here, next second he's here. We're going to see 2 pieces, 3 pieces, hopefully, out of him tonight.
Good. That's what I'm looking forward to. A highlight reel. And right beside him again, T. We'll dive a little more in depth with him. I think I was talking to him earlier, and he's saying he's kind of plays a bit more of that like objective blocker.
Yeah, definitely objective blocker. I think him and I, kind of as an AR duo, we're able to split that role.
Yeah.
But going into this match tonight, that's going to be probably one of his more primary focus. Leading the troops, he's a great leader. And hopefully, he can fill the shoes where needed.
Yeah. And then one last time, we didn't dive too in depth with Wing there too. I mean, what are we going to see out of him? I mean, we've got our fragger, we've got our objective blocker. Are we going to find him on the objectives then?
Yeah, I think that is kind of the plan. Wrench and Wing have both been able to play the objective.
Okay.
Leading into this, we've kind of said, great communication, make it clear who's going to get on the objective, and then the other person kind of help that person near the objective. There might be moments where we see both of them on the objective, but depending on the map or what rotation is. But yeah, definitely Wing should be more of our objective player, at least within the respawn game modes.
Okay. I just looking at the squad in the season overall. I mean, I guess looking at the rest of the teams in your conference or in your division here, do you feel like there's still some harder matches ahead of you guys, or do you feel like you've already hit some of those right now that put you in a 2-1 situation, or is it still feel like it could be rocking up and down in the future?
I think we have our sights kind of focused on one team, and that being Cumberland Academy. We've scrimmed them quite often, and we're usually caught splitting maps with them through our scrimmages. They're definitely, I would say, probably one of the better rosters within our division. We also have our Canadian neighbors, St. Clair Academy.
Of course, yeah. Which Varsity is going to be playing tonight. Not the Academy squad, the Varsity squad, but
yeah,
St. Clair's, they've always been a thorn in our side.
Yeah, and they actually have one of our former players, Perky, on their roster.
Okay.
So that kind of builds that storyline a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm happy to see that he was able to get onto a team in a starting role.
Cool.
We'll be playing them in 2 weeks. Hope maybe it'll be on broadcast. That'd be cool to see Perky.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if we got the space for it, like we did tonight, I hope the scheduling lines up, because anytime we can face down, well, first off, a former teammate and also St. Clair, I feel like that's a matchup you want to have on broadcast. That's precisely why, like, hands down, no question asked, we have our Varsity squad jumping on tonight on broadcast because they're playing St. Clair. Like, we got to have that on broadcast.
Yeah, and I mean, the storyline between like St. Clair Academy and our Academy roster, we've always split it back and forth. Like, we'll get it once and then they get it.
That's good. Love to see it. But looks like we're getting our opponents in the lobby now. We're getting down to Hacienda. I mean, I guess off the bat, what are we looking for in terms of our off the rip kind of positioning? Where do we want to see the Condors right from the get-go?
So off the rip, we're going to be looking at our AR players being Wrench and T to be trying to get top control. This first hill is going to be in the middle of the map and basically underneath these hallways. Ideally, Wing is going to go to that objective and have his 2 AR players look over top of him. And then Savvy is probably going to go towards the left side of the map and try to get kills and run it down.
Well, we'll see if the Condors can light it up right off the bat. We're expecting this to end up being a Condor win. You said Savvy's going to be that guy getting in there and frisky right away. 2-piece to start things off for him.
Yeah, and just looking at the break-off here, we can see that we got some unfortunate deaths, and we've spawned out. We did have the favorite spawns going into the P2, but you're still very early on, and we see Savvy get a 3-piece. Like I said, he's just going to run it down and kill.
Yeah, these highlight plays are going to be just full of him. Hopefully some of the rest of our players can pop themselves a couple highlight plays in there too. But yeah,
for sure.
Not upset if it's all just him here. How are we looking so far when it comes to controlling the map?
I think controlling the map, we're okay. Looking at number 4 on our mini-map, Wing, he's kind of the only one towards New Hill. But we do have 2 teammates wrapping the other side. We are trying to get the favorite spawns being in the back of the hill. Here, we're a little bit at a standoff.
Right.
It looks like 2 of the other players are on the objective while our communication is showing we have the back. We can see T getting a 2-piece while Wrench is still spawning out. Savvy's on the objective, watching his side door, is able to get that kill. It looks like Wing is doing a flank here. And the other team just spawned out towards well side. Hopefully that the communication here is key, and our players should know that they're in the back.
Yeah.
With 14 seconds left, to be honest, these guys spawning in the back is not a horrible situation. But as we see, we get the kills and we flipped spawns again. So Northeast State is going to have the rotation to this P3 objective. So Conestoga is going to have to break it.
Well, that's the things right now. I was asking how you felt about it because it felt off the bat. We didn't have the best hold on the map. We got some points back, which was good. We were down a significant amount before, but as a result of holding the last point, we gave control this one, but getting it back pretty well at this point. Some good gunfights go in favor of the Condors here, where they ought to watch that side swipe there because they do have fluency coming in and starting to rip things up.
Yeah, and just looking at the spawns here, Conestoga is now spawning in the back, which we believe to be the more favorite spawns. Here, Wing just got the first blood. They just have to break this hill. Just looking, Savvy has already earned a cruise missile. That can be very key on to the P4 hill. Usually that hill is kind of unbreakable.
And when are you looking to use that missile then, I guess? What's the kind of ideal situation you're aiming for?
So that cruise missile is usually used on the P4, the hill that's about to launch, if you don't have control of it. It's kind of one of those hills that shouldn't be breakable. Individuals should be able to trade out, block spawns. And it looks like, for the most part, we have control here, so there's really no reason for Savvy to invest it. Right now, it's just basically trading each other out over and over again and ensuring we're not over peaking.
Yeah.
As we see, Savvy is just being fed.
Right. Yeah. Hey, at this point, we're still 10 points down. We're doing our best to capture some back here, but a little bit more of a contention from Northeast State Bears than maybe we had thought off the bat. We're wondering if this could have been a quick series for us, but not quite. The Condors grabbed that point back. That'll get them a little bit more points to get them closer. But unfortunately, they got to start looking for next because there's only 10 seconds left.
Yeah, definitely. I think North State is leaving a big hole in their game. It seems like they're hitting old a lot. And it'd be just nice for the Condors to recognize that and be able to rotate early. Force these teams to break the hill off of you.
Hey, these are some good fights here, though. They've got the point, but you do have 3 of Northeast State starting to barrel down towards the point. 4 Condors, though, ready to hold them off. Great kill there from Savvy's, looking for another one around the corner. That's going to buy them a lot of time here for this point.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like Savvy's just going to continue doing what
He's
I said. He's 22-9, make that 23-9, and he's just holding these top halls. It's very hard when you got an annoying player on the other side just out-fragging you over and over again.
Unfortunately, a misstep there, and that's going to buy a little bit of space for Northeast State to get themselves onto the point. We do have the lead, but it's not going to be a significant one. So the Condors looking just to hop on, maybe for even the moment here, just to touch toes to stop that counter from going up. But unfortunately, it is going to tick right past their scoreline. But they're looking for next point, and they've got a pretty good hold on it right now. But Northeast State is making their way in.
Yeah, for sure. Luckily enough, the Condors have the rotation here.
Luckily enough, Savvy's there.
Yeah, definitely. Savvy is definitely the one carrying the troops tonight. He's definitely the one putting up the numbers. And by the looks of it, they're going to hold this hill, hopefully for a full 60, and be able to take a pretty decent lead.
Yeah.
As long as we continue to hold proper setups and not get blooded, which unfortunately, as I say that, we go 4 down.
Commentator curse.
Yeah. There's 23 seconds left. It looks like the guys recognize, there's not much time left here. Let's rotate out, pick up some lanes, and try to, make these guys stuck on this side of the map. We can already see number 3 being Wrench is kind of pushed up to the dark, watching the well push. Number 7 is about to push through, and Wrench gets the kill.
And we saw T die on top there. Was he holding that position just to watch for a rotate out, trying to get some exit frags there?
Yeah, definitely. I would say when you are on that P2 hill, you definitely want to try to push out the front and try to flip the spawns. As we see right now, number 6 and 7 have just spawned in the back, meaning the Condors are going to be spawning towards the bottom right, being well. Ideally, that's not the greatest spawn for this hill. Right now, Savvy's just going to be contesting the point, hoping his AR players can just watch over top of him. As we say that, 3 go down for North State.
Yeah.
And we have flipped the spawns. Now it's just a matter, are the guys going to read that we flipped them out? As well as there's only 18 seconds left, so I would really like to see our academy guys start to rotate. As we've seen, Northeast State has already done it. This is a situation where Savvy might invest that cruise missile. He's taken the hallway control. Unless he gets this 2-piece, which, again, he does. He gets traded out. This is definitely a situation where maybe he doesn't have to invest the cruise.
Yeah, I mean, if they can win the gunfights out, which they're doing at the moment here, the Northeast State tries to step on point. The Condors lock it in. They're not going to have to waste any of that util. They can hang out for a little bit longer, but you're going to see that approach from Northeast State start to poke some holes in the defense of the Condors. Upstairs, we lose Savvy, and that's going to be Northeast onto the point.
Yeah, I'm starting to see our guys I don't know if it's maybe a lack of communication, but it seems a lot of individuals are kind of looking at the same thing. As we see, Savvy just called in the cruise missile with 20 seconds left on this hill. It should help them get the remaining time on this hill, as the Condors are now up 168 to 145.
You hope that that stays. That's the thing is, like, I wonder now if you call this a wasted cruise missile, because right after that, we saw Northeast State drop right back onto the point, get some kills. Is that a wasted cruise missile?
You could say it's wasted, but there is a situation where we're getting closer to the end of this map where maybe Savvy couldn't invest that cruise again. Maybe we're not going to get to that hill. So I would rather see him use it and potentially earn another one, as Savvy's been fragging out. He's now 34 and 16. If he's able to get another cruise missile, that's kind of key. He just gets the triple kill right there, which, again, he's just frying. Looks like he's going to get on the objective, as he's actually gotten a minute 20 on the hill, which is very surprising to me.
Condors back on the point, contested a little bit here. Got the upper ground. Savvy locked down at Fountain. He's just going to take a little nap here. It doesn't look like he's going to have a lot of attention from that side there. He's going to have to watch the backside. Oh, around the Fountain, he will find a fight and win it too. Condors get a couple extra points on that as we count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the next rotation starts to come in here. Condors can't win out that gunfight. A trade at least, though, and we'll keep one foot on the circle.
Yeah, definitely. We can see that, Savvy said, you know what, guys, I'm not going to run it down anymore. I'm just going to get on the objective. I'm going to try to carry you guys to that finish line. And on top of that, we have number 2 sitting in the back, which I believe to be T. He's just ensuring that we have the primary spawns on this hill. And then number 4 being Wing is just ensuring that they don't go to the cut. He kind of got some unfortunate timing there, as number 7 just was able to get through. But Savvy was able to pick it up. You know, he saw that maybe Wing gave it up a little bit too early. And we can kind of see this, at least on this rotation of the hills, the guys are playing a lot better. They're not giving up free breaks on hills.
230 to 168. Northeast State starting to fall behind here. A great fight from them. Much different than, again, what we expected early on. We expected a little more domination, but it's starting to seem like Condors finding their footing, maybe, as you mentioned before. A little bit of communication can get cleaned up here, but they're still in the lead. At least for now, they can start to ride this to the end. 2 to get rid of before they can capture this point, and they should be able to jump on that with no problem.
Yeah, and the Condors only need 12 seconds to win of the objective time. I also noticed that Savvy has earned another cruise missile. He is now 46 and 17, which is just insane. That's kills, not just eliminations, which is 2 separate things.
48, 49.
Yeah.
We're going to hit a 50 bomb for him before the end of this round.
It's almost like, get off the objective. Let Savvy hit that 50 bomb. I'm just kidding, of course, because I want them to win, but...
Yeah, right. let the opponents come in. Let's draw them into a trap where Savvy can light them up here. Again, the rest of the squad putting in the work. T trying to just keep that point under control here, down to the final seconds. We're looking at 1 point left, and the Condors are going to grab the win over Northeast State Bears. And yeah, I think you definitely have to give a lot of credit to Savvy for being able to light up a lot of those kills. A lot of crucial moments there where Northeast could have had control. And the rest of the Condors, though, filling in the spaces they need to. You let Savvy do what he does. The rest of the team get the objectives.
For sure. I think as we're seeing the final kill here, Savvy was just tearing this team apart. I can also tell that the other team maybe isn't looking at their mini maps, as it would show a red dot every time Savvy shoots, and nobody seems to be reacting.
I feel like that's I don't know, the only thing I look at when I play.
Ideally, that is probably what you should be looking at, but
Yeah.
it would surprise you the amount of people who do not look at their mini maps.
No, I think that was just an instinctive thing for me. It was just always look at that mini map, because that knowledge of where your opponents are is crucial. I mean, like if you got someone that does take an inopportune shot at you, you know exactly where they are, and you can deal with that situation. But hey, at this point, I don't know if that's going to be enough for them to shut down Savvy, shut down the Condors. But we do win the first map, and then we're moving into, after this, some search and destroy, and this obviously switches things up. You saw in the game explainer at the beginning of the day that this changes the game mode completely. It's not just a go respawn. Once you die, you're out for that round. A little bit more like Counter-Strike. You got to get that bomb planted.
Yeah, definitely. I would say like Counter-Strike or Valorant, it's more of a slow pace. You can still have your aggressive player like Savvy, but he's not going to be as quick on the map here.
He has to be a little smarter.
Yeah.
Because if he's out, the team doesn't have him anymore.
Yeah, and with this being round-based and not so much a respawn, your life matters a lot more. It's
And
more key.
I've seen underdog teams. This is generally where they can pull away with a map win. Because, again, if they can just pull out a crazy strat off the bat that catch you off guard, they can get a round win, or they can at least keep the series a little bit closer because of it. So this is the mode that Northeast might be looking for to nab a win.
Yeah, definitely. I think something's very key here for the Condors is just ensuring that they get information early on of where these teams are going to try to go, group up, and make sure we're team fighting.
And who's doing that? I mean, like, what are you looking for? I mean, obviously there's certain crosses that you're looking for on certain maps to try to get that information. What's going to be those key giveaways that the team is looking for to know where to set up?
I think something that's key, especially because we're going to a hacienda, kind of like I said to the P1, is ensuring you have people watching your mid hallways as well as your left and right lane. From that, those players should be able to hear util being stuns and nades thrown over the top, as well as they might see somebody. Once that person gets that key information, they either need to decide, am I going to back up or can I get a free kill here? Something I prefer to see is playing team fights. I think the Condors have a little bit more firepower here.
Okay.
So at least they group up and effectively trade each other out.
Just kind of steamroll it.
Yeah, they should be able to steamroll a lot of these rounds. I really want to see the Condors take an early lead, because I think Northeast is more of a team, if they go down 1 or 2 rounds or 3 rounds, they might spiral out of control.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and obviously you don't want to lose one, because that can hurt confidence going into your next map once we get control as well. But for them, it doesn't look like confidence is an issue. You can see them on screen. They're smiling. They're laughing. I mean, I feel like, in general, the vibes with this squad is generally been pretty good. A great atmosphere to hang out in. So I wasn't surprised or expecting, I guess, to see serious faces at this point, especially after a win like that.
Yeah, no, I think maybe was some jitters on the first 2 rotations of that last hill.
Yeah.
But it looked like the 3rd rotation of the hill, the Condors
Clean.
kind of just took over. Like I said earlier, this is Wrench's first match. Maybe he had a few jitters on those first few rotations. But going to Search and Destroy, I keep talking about Savvy, and I'm going to talk a little bit about T. The two of them really like Search and Destroy.
Okay.
I've played.
How about you?
I'm more of a respawn guy,
Okay,
but
okay.
I think I still have the mindset when it comes to Search and Destroy, and I think I am more of our play caller in a lot of these rounds.
Yeah.
But I've kind of said to T, you've led at your past school, take over tonight.
Okay,
You
cool.
need to be
Nice.
that
I
vocal
like it.
leader. You need to take the reins and tell individuals off breakoffs what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to be going. And mid-rounding, let's back up. This isn't a gunfight we want to take. Let's just regroup as a team and go somewhere else.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, and again, as I was saying at the beginning of the stream too, that's a solid guy to have as your ringleader right now. So excited to see if this can be a nice little stomping ground for them. Back to Hacienda, and we saw them dominate before, but again, game mode changed now. So the strats are going to have to change a little bit as well. A little bit more methodical, a little bit more strategical, and a little bit more precise.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm kind of hoping that There is a few plays that Savvy and I have set off breakoffs here.
Okay.
I'm curious to see.
Does it look like they are?
It's a little bit harder because they're more offensive rounds. Right now,
okay.
the Condors are on defense. Savvy is playing on the rock. Now we're in a man advantage.
Now you're in a
Major
man
advantage. We are in a 3v1. This is a type situation where we're on defense. You can kind of see number 5 and 6 are playing together. I would like number 5 and 6 to get a lot closer together. Effectively make number 2 have to make a play on the map by either planting the bomb or get a 2-piece. And this is where the round is going to slow down. Number 2 is hoping that the Condors are going to make a mistake.
Bit of a catch-up here.
Yeah, and we can see that Wrench is kind of roaming the top hallways. Number 2 has taken the bomb, and it looks like they are going to go to the B bomb site and plant. Just looking through the mini-map, it kind of looks like number 2 is going to be planting for office. And actually, they are not going to go for office control.
Yeah, so the Condors now have to find their way in there.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out where this individual has gone.
You want to do this together, though. Yeah, there it is, the cross, get the pick, and that should be a good chance for them to. Not good chance. It's going to be them getting in for the defuse. There's plenty of time on the clock there. Good play, though. They almost caught with their pants down, though. A little bit too confident with those early kills, I think.
Yeah, I think Savvy there was kind of like, I just ran these guys over. Map number 1, let me do it again. Hopefully, he can maybe slow it down. Unfortunately, T did get picked off at the beginning there, so maybe he wasn't calming, guys, let's regroup here. I'm very curious to see what we do on breakoff here. Something Savvy sometimes likes to call is a very aggro play going through top hallways. As we see, they might be doing that. They're currently going through bottom secret.
Yeah, well, this is the thing now. For anyone watching, we've swapped sides now. It's our turn to get that bomb planted. I wonder if you're going to look for some of those kills there. You see right out the bat, Savvy looking for that hunt down. The rest of the Condors doing the exact same thing. You don't even need to get that plant.
Yeah, clean sweep. That was a very flawless round. I really liked how I saw Wing and Savvy making a push together on the map while T kind of ensured that there was no way they were going to go through the other hallway. As we see in the final kill there, Wrench is also there with him. So there was no way that they were going to get 2-pieced.
Yeah, nice. Quick 2 wins there for Condors. You said you wanted to see them win those early rounds, and they listened. They're following through for you just for Taylor.
Yeah.
And the Condors in a good position.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a very key round here. If the Condors can kind of sweep them off the map, this could be definitely a mental tilt to the other team. We don't have the firepower. They might start making silly mistakes, and this is where kind of the Condors can take over.
Well, we'll see if that continues to happen here. We do lose Wing on that fight, but there's going to be information there for Wrench. He's going to try to make that hunt around top side.
I think what is happening here is Savvy has recognized that the bomb is down on him. So whoever he had killed beforehand was the bomb handler.
Yeah.
And he knows,
it's great information to have.
Let's not roam the map because we know that they have to come here.
Yeah, but you got to watch out. They're going to be able to grab that pick. They got the Condors sleeping a little bit, but I guess they're just watching for the exits. And that's going to be able to get them on point there. Savvy can't get the first kill. No, he does nail it down, but dies to the second there. Down to Wrench here, trying to get that pick. And he gets it before bomb goes down. Condors narrowly take the win.
Yeah, definitely. That was a lot scarier than it could have been, going from a 4v2 down to a 2v2 and then a 1v1. But Wrench was able to get the kill off the bomb. We are now going to an offensive round. I just noticed that Wrench is 4-0, so he seems to be doing quite well for his first match.
Yeah, I think at this point, again, you saw it right in there, a lock in. I thought maybe it was going to go the other way. A couple dips and dives, good peeking there from the opponents. Kept them alive a little bit longer than I was hoping, but it wasn't to be for Northeast Bears. And now they sit 3 points down. It's 3 more for the Condors to lock in the second map on Hacienda. And a first kill there for Wing is going to put them in a good position. 2 down on Northeast, and the Condors light them up down to 1. It's a 2v1. We've seen it go bad before, but this should be another round win for the Condors if they can get that final player hunted down. If they got the bomb, maybe just go for the plant.
Yeah, definitely. T just got the information that number 3 is sitting in their
Yeah,
spawn.
he picked wrong.
Right here, number 3 is gambling, hopefully that they're going to A bomb site. And T is going to plant the bomb towards Rock. And after this, I'm kind of hoping he kind of backs up, or he's just going to shoulder this close corner. Just try to play for information. As we can see, number 3 is taking the scenic route. He's deciding to go all the way through spawn.
My question with it planted at bomb, is this ideal for Tempe Boo right now to be able to lock in and take down our team?
Well, Wrench just got the information, which is fortune, and T is going to get the kill. I would say in that situation, Wrench has said, it's been long enough. We haven't seen him. This guy could be taking a route behind us, or somebody else on the team maybe mentioned that. But I think T and Wrench at least played really well there to get information and trade each other out. Kind of a key thing in a man advantage, effectively just play with your teammate.
The Condors up 4, 2 more to go. And again, it seems to be that gung-ho approach, just like was predicted by you at the beginning of this map, S&D, that they might want to just try and steamroll this one. Savvy going to look for those early picks as he heads straight over to that B site. Bomb dropped early on, so he can just go for the gunfights.
Yeah, definitely. And now we're in a 3v2 situation. We should know where one of the players is. Savvy threw a really good nade off breakoff there. If T can get this trade, 2v1 situation, and they're playing together.
Oh, and they know where they are too. Yeah. This should be it. Everyone, both jump out right now. Chase them down. I don't even care. Go get them. It looks like they're going through the window as well.
Yeah, and Wing ends up getting a wallbang kill there. I think maybe T put a few bullets in beforehand, and Wing just finished the person off.
Hey, that's all you. Good comms, though. I mean, you got to say, hey, I tagged them. So that's the way Wings knows, okay, I just throw spray through this wall a little bit here to get that kill.
Yeah, for sure. I think great communication. It seems like this map, the Condors are really focusing, playing as a team. They're putting detail within their communication. They're not just throwing their lives away.
One more to go for a perfect sweep for the Condors. It'd be great if... Have you ever gotten a perfect sweep, like a perfect sweep where no one died as well?
Not with Inclusion.
Yeah, okay. That would be easy.
Yeah, I don't think that's an easy thing to do. As we see, T just gets the first blood against Slosh. At this point, with the man advantage, I would like to just see the guys, say, let's hit a bomb site together. As we see, number 3 is already behind our players and ends up getting a 2-piece, which is unfortunate.
Savvy's going to have to lock in here, and he's hunting for that other player. The question is he going to find them before they manage to accomplish what they're trying to do, and it's get that bomb away from the Condors. They're just locking it down. I mean, that's kind of the thing they got to do right now. It's up to the Condors to get that bomb planted. They've got the time limit on them, whereas the Bears just have to kind of hang out and wait for the Condors to come to them. And with a player advantage, that's the best thing to do right now.
Yeah, definitely. Savvy's taking a risk here, hoping that, with Wing planting the bomb, maybe he can catch them off guard. These guys might be expecting for Wing and Savvy to be playing together.
Ooh, he's going to get pinched here. This could be a problem, but Savvy, great motion there. It's going to catch one on the stairs. Can't do it. It's going to leave Wing by himself. But if they all dive in at once here, no, that's a great call. Find that information. That's going to be really hard for Wing. I like that approach from the Bears. I think they played that round decently.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of like what I was saying before with the Condors, the Bears recognize, we got 3 people alive. They only have 2. Yeah. Let's just pick a bomb site, get together, let the other team plant the bomb, and then we'll just retake the bomb site.
Even their approach, too. I mean, you saw it. Send one player in, try to get that information. Even if they got taken down, the 2 up top know exactly where Wing is, and they can drop in and hopefully win that gunfight for them.
Yeah, definitely. And they were spacing themselves properly to ensure that they got a trade. That first individual is there to get the information.
Yeah.
And then from there, your teammates just have to effectively trade you out. We are on a defense, though. The Condors have yet to lose a defense on this map. Within this map, like this exact round.
I mean, to be fair, they hadn't lost anything until that one, too. They're still on match point here and just holding down the trigger. T can't get the kill. It's going to be down to his teammates. It's a 2v4 right now. Somehow the Bears have kind of turned these tides around. You might have the commentator curse on you tonight, Taylor. I mean, you talked about them not losing. a defense round. This might be the first one unless Wrench can pop off today. He's starting to light it up. There's 2 down. He's got 2 more on site, and this is going to be super tight now. Down to the final seconds. He's got to get that hunt down, and he's got to get those kills. You can't waste any more time. He's on to site. Can't find anyone up top. Around the back fences. There's a bomb. He's got to go fake defuse. Can't. He's got to take it down. And you just can't get a win. That's a hard situation.
Yeah, that's a hard situation. You know, Wrench gets put in the 1v4. He's able to get the first 2 kills. Northeast State, was playing, you know, time there. They were like, let's make sure we stay together. Make this person have to get all the kills plus defuse the bomb in such a short amount of time. We are now going into our 8th round. I would love to see what we saw earlier in the game where Savvy just plays or makes an aggressive play. You know, that's either running down the hallways or just executing on a bomb site. It appears that the Condors are going to head towards B bomb, but we can see on the other side that Northeast has 2 players here. Effectively, the Condors just have to trade each other out or try to get some bloods without dying. As we see Tempo Blue and She Loves Seawell both going down.
Yeah.
4v2 with the bomb going down. If the Condors play this right, they should win this round.
Good start. Just Slosh and She Loves Seawell left. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make this push. With the entirety of the Condors alive here, they make the push on site. Yeah, that cross isn't going to let you get anything beneficial. And the Condors taking map number 2. A bit of a bite back there from the Bears, but it wasn't quite enough. And you see the celebrations come out. Condors now at match point in the series overall.
Yeah, definitely. I would say for the most part we saw some very good rounds executed there by the Condors. There's 2 rounds, maybe they got caught off guard a little bit, but definitely still a pretty decent win. I would say this was probably better than the hard point. You know,
yeah.
I wouldn't say this was.
It felt more commanding.
Yeah, more commanding. And the Condors seem to be playing a lot better as a team, at least on that map.
Right. So the question is for you, I mean, to get a sense, looking at how that went on a map where it is a bit different. Control brings us back into that respawn territory where you got those lives limited, but you can get back into the action. It's a different kind of mode than S&D. And again, a lot closer to hardpoint. Do you feel like we might struggle a little bit more, seeing the fact that we did have the Bears have a little bit of gusto by the end of even that S&D round?
I wouldn't be overly concerned going into this control. I think that we have some pretty good protocols when it comes into this vault control. At least within the offense, I've drilled it into our players' minds. Understand, you know, if we're in our spawn and we've just gotten fresh 4 kills, understand that spread the map, try to play for another fresh wave of kills, and then play the objective. If you're in a situation where you're on defense and they're capturing the A control, try to focus your B control, as I think that's one of the more harder control sites to control, funny enough. But yeah. I think that even though Northeast kind of threw a fight there is a point within Search and Destroy, you know, you're up 5-0, let me lay back. This isn't that hard.
Okay. Do you think it was more the Condors giving that space than it was the Bears taking it back?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a wake-up call. Like the Bears are like, you know what? Sure, you guys are playing better than us right now, but you can't slack off.
Right. Hey, well, Condors with the finish line in sight, hopefully aren't ready to slack off as they look like they're ready to get back into it. Oftentimes this is where we'll see a break happen, but I feel like both teams understand maybe the inevitability of this series and say, let's not delay it any further. Let's get onwards to our next map, and then you can see the varsity squad warming up. Oh, I was wrong. Apparently they are. Good if you take a break, but the varsity squad is getting prepared to start their match. So it'll be at 8:30. We'll be tuning into that later here. So it'll be a bit of a break in between if we do finish the series 3-0. But this next one is going to be insane. I got to let you know, both teams are 4-4, or sorry, 4-0 with the varsity squad. They're up against St. Clair. We talked about it earlier, a matchup you do not want to miss. So make sure to join us for that later. We're going to take a quick moment away from the game while our Condors get rested for game number 3. But stay tuned to find out the conclusion of our Condors Academy squad. Welcome back to the studio. We've got map 3 for our Condors Call of Duty Academy squad about to go down. I'm Leaf and I'm still hanging out with Taylor, who's sitting back today watching his teammates take control. They're up 2-0 right now. I know I was talking to you. It's so different to watch your team. I've heard this from coaches before too, like pros that end up going to coaching role, how much more stressful it is to watch because you don't have control. Like you can't change the outcome. You just have to watch and hope.
Yeah, I mean, for the last 2 years, every time a match starts for Varsity COD, I see Eric leave the room. I'm like, why is this guy leaving the room? I now understand.
You get it now, right?
I understand. Sitting here, watching my team play, knowing like, this is usually me sitting there playing, and I have no control.
It's tough.
I just have to sit here and let the outcome happen.
Yeah, I love that we've been able to give you a fresh perspective on things. Yeah, it's a situation that can be tough. But right now, hopefully, they're instilling a little bit of confidence in you because they're winning these rounds, especially. The first one, the latter half, looked a little bit better. This one was pretty strong all the way through. A couple slipped rounds in the S&D. So going into control, hopefully there's a good amount of confidence in you that this is going to be rounded out as a 3-0 for the Academy squad today.
Yeah, definitely. I would say as the series has gone on, I've gotten more confidence,
That's good,
watching. Yeah. I'll never get off that edge type deal.
You must have been right on the edge at the beginning when they were losing the lead.
Yeah, at the beginning I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe we made a mistake here.
Uh-oh.
Let me hop back in there.
Quickly. Yeah, just take the headset off. We watch you go in there and just push the chair aside.
Yeah.
But hey, they got it together. They got the nerves under control, if that's what it was, and they started communicating and locking. As I said, even calling out just to a single kill. I know it's just a single kill, but there was that one where Wing got that wall bang. It's like I think to me, and disagree if you want, that was a good indication of communication between the squad.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's communication of what I'm gonna do, what I'm seeing, and let's just eliminate this player.
Yeah. Well, we move now on to map number 3. Your stress should be over soon, as Vault is potentially our last map as the Condors come in at match point. We'll find out if the Northeast Bears are able to find themselves a win over the Condors, as control is the game mode.
Yeah, and we can see that the Condors are going to be starting on the defensive side. And the Bears are actually taking a very weird route. They are going to try to capture B off rip. This is something that you don't see often. And as we can see, Wrench just gets a free 2-piece.
Yeah.
Maybe he can get the third.
Well, I'm wondering right now for the Condors if they're a little worried that this could work, because we did have a player sitting on B for quite a while here, and the Condors had to dedicate a lot of time over to B. Is there a reason that we don't see that B push quite often on this map?
Usually you have somebody playing for the information through the left street, and in that situation the Condors didn't, as well as they kind of took a weird route by dropping down into the vault that we now see Wing in. Another reason you don't see it is because if it fails and you die, all 4 of you, the other team's just going to put you in a spawn trap.
Gotcha. Well, Condors right now getting a little bit of a lead when it comes to the lives. They're up 3. They only get 30 to spare. Condors just have to buy enough time to run that clock down so they can keep the Bears off of those points for a little bit longer. They can get themselves one win in this control mode.
Yeah, definitely. And we can see that the Condors are a little bit on edge. They must understand that there's somebody playing behind them, being number 2. And as I say that, Wrench was able to pick up that kill. This is a situation now where the Condors just effectively trade each other out, say each other's the names that they're eliminating, and put Northeast into a spawn trap.
And Condors down to 30 seconds left. Timer stopped. So we had one of the Bears on point. They're starting to hunt around now. They're going to watch that. A point is looking mighty tasty for the Bears. If they get on point there, there's a kill for them. If they can get another one here, it's a great position for them. They've only got one player left out, down to the 1v1 on A point. The Condors win it out. Wrench has to clear off that tick, and they should be good if they can hold it down, but time stopped again because B
Yeah, effectively, though, the Bears only have 6 lives remaining, as the Condors have 12 with only 17 seconds left. The Bears are playing a very separated game. Even if they are able to capture A here, which it looks like they might, the Condors need to just recognize, give up that objective. Let's just ensure that we trade each other out, as we have such a big man advantage on the B side.
There it is. They're drawing on the players as up behind comes Savvy, and he just wipes out the entire squad. Almost the last one down, but that does bring him down to 2 spawns left.
It looks like the Bears are going to actually get this. Unfortunately, with the spawns on this map, you spawn so far away. It's very unfortunate there that the Condors went 4 dead without killing or eliminating the other team. That's very unfortunate, but it's so early into the map that I have faith that the Condors just have to win one offensive round, and they'll be good.
Yeah, that's what in my opinion, interesting win, because it did feel like the Condors had the edge most of that round, and then all of a sudden at the end there, that one final kill, Savvy had a great multi-kill, but it was that last player that he couldn't drop that ended up being the downfall of the Condors that round.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, that B play that the Bears made off rip, it ended up earning them 2 ticks right at the beginning of the round. So that ended up leading, so at the end, they only needed to get 1 tick.
They only had 1 left, yep. Well, Condors turn to attack. We'll see how they approach it. They're not going to go for that B rip. They're going to go for an A, as is standard, and it's working out for them real well at this point. And also, even look at the lives too. I mean, they've cleared a lot of the Bears off the board at this point.
Yeah, the key thing here is now the Condors just have to understand that they're down 3 ticks. Most ticks gets defense in the final round if it goes to round 5. The Condors have 2 dead here. They know one guy's on the hill, another player. At this point, Condors just need to stack.
Yeah, and they should be able to take this. That was a fast again. First A grab, and there it is, the stack on B. And honestly, if they win that gunfight, which they do the first one there, but the contention comes in, 2 Condors on it, though, are able to lock it in, and a nice, tasty round for the Condors.
Yeah, the Condors effectively did similar to what the Bears did. They didn't go for B off rip, but they were effectively able to capture A, get the Bears kind of separated and spawning in the back left corner of the map, and just stack and secure B. As we see here, Savvy is going for long shots with a sub.
I was going to say, bro's rocking around the corner with an SMG, hitting people across the entire firing range.
Yeah, everybody complains about subs and ARs being balanced or the AR being better. That sub is insane.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I guess in the right hands, too. If I had that, I'm not the worst thing in the world, but definitely not that accurate.
Yeah, for sure. As we see here, Wing is now going to try to get top cat control. It appears like somebody else is there with him. And effectively is going to die, unfortunately. We now, I believe, have just Wrench up while the guys come off respawn. I would like Wrench to kind of play that a little bit slower, because if he dies, which he does, he's going to be separated from his team.
Yeah, a bit tough there. The Condors, they move back to defense. And it seems like at this point, there's a decent B hold there, but a great wraparound from Wrench. He's trying to look for the other one as well, but they do get on point, or at least try to drop it down. There's a find for T. 1 by 1, we see a couple of Bears drop. The Condors feeling a bit of a pressure themselves.
Yeah, it seems like the Condors are not doing well once getting kills to take map positioning. They're kind of just not running forward. Kind of when you get those 2, 3, 4 dead, you want to push up into the other team spawn and make them get 2 waves. And the Bears are just kind of being annoying.
Yeah, it seems to be. I suppose, well, I was going to say living up to their name, but Bears aren't generally annoying. They're just terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point, yeah, it's they're more like bees.
And in this situation, the Condors are kind of stuck in their spawn. They need to really deal with number 1, and as I say that, T was able to get the kill. Here they need to try to get this person off the objective, which T
shoot him in the hand.
Shoot him in the hands.
It's the everyone knows you'll die if you get shot in the hand.
Yeah, for sure. And in this situation, the Condors really just need to get 4 dead and put the other team back into their spawn and secure some maps.
Oh, there's going to be a good pick there. T is locking down B. He's got to watch, though. Thankfully, he's got teammates there. There's going to be a push up onto B. He's going to find another pick here as Tempe Boo tries to make their way in.
And right there, now that Wing has gotten that kill, we've actually gotten 4 dead. We can see Savvy has decided to take the map control. Kind of be this pest. This is really what you need. You know, we call this build useless. Unfortunately, Savvy goes for a little bit of an ego challenge there, but Wing is effectively able to trade himself out.
Hey, it's worked in the past for him before. Condor's starting to get a little bit of control of this. Knocking it down to 4 lives left, no respawns for the Bears. And the Condors in a solid position. We did see them lose round 1 while still being up lives, but I think at this situation they should be just fine. The Savvy's found that last player, and the Condors up 2.
Yeah, for sure. You can definitely see that Savvy is still doing that run it down. But something I'm really starting to like is I've noticed that T is 19-9 as he gets to play the game. He seems to be very much controlling certain sides of the map, which is kind of key in control of your ARs. You know, he's ensuring that nobody's getting through this left side of the map, and that just helps his teammates understand, okay, right side of the map is open and middle's open.
Yeah, no, that's great. And again, having a solid objective blocker like that, we talked about it earlier, that's what we'd expect him to do, and he did it just well there, as shown in that final kill cam. And now the Condors looking to lock things in against the Bears. We'll see what the strat's going to be. It's defense for the Bears. Condors, quick push all the way onto A site there. We're going to lose 2 players down. Wrench, Wing, and T all dropping. It's just down to Savvy now to try and get a pick maybe, or just wait for his teammates to get back into the fight, but he'll be dropped out as well. Now they've got a bit of a struggle when it comes to that respawn.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where I like the Condors, you know, take a step back, wait for each other all to spawn up, and try to take map position.
Yeah, you don't want that trickle. Otherwise, you're going to be feeding one by one.
Yeah, for sure. As we see, Savvy's now pushed out pool control. They are starting to get kills on their side of the map. If we can effectively get this trade, this is a situation where we can start to get progress on the A control site.
And there it is. As you say it, progress is starting to be taking control there for the Condors on A site. 2 ticks down. That's wonderful for them. They are going to start to get pressure, though. Great kills there from Savvy. That's going to keep that side locked down. Condors completely locking down A site right now, eliminating bear after bear. Northeast is going to have to start looking over at B site. Condors move there immediately.
And something we can see here is Wrench is trying to be annoying within the other team's spawn. Something that would be key there is just informing his team that he's doing that, because he's actually going to make the other team spawn closer to the B control site. Again, we've gone 3 down, Savvy's last up, but our team is starting to take map control again.
1 down bot side. They're going to push into A. Maybe straight through. We're going to see Will is going to find that pick on the backside there. Condors trying to find where maybe those spawns are. They get 1 pick. And there it is. Seawell back over to the other side. Condors down along are going to lose 1, drop the other one. They've got a decent position now. Savvy's got to get these kills, though behind him. He doesn't see him downstairs. And there's 2, 3 back on that spawn.
Yeah, and definitely just looking at the lives here, it's now 15-12. As I say that, we get another one down. I would really like to see the Condors. The Bears are giving them so much map positioning that if they can just get 4 kills all at the same time, they can stack and win this round easily.
Unfortunately, they're not able to find those picks. They keep getting picked. Sewell finally finds the kill they were looking for about an entire minute down on the underside. The Condors have to start making moves. 20 seconds left. They got to get some feet onto that point, but they also can't do it without having control over those kills. And the Condors are definitely struggling. This may be a round for the Bears to take unless something miraculous happens here. A pick for Wrench might have been that move, but it's not to be. And 5 seconds left. Condors probably not going to be able to take this. unless craziest pop off from the team here is going to happen. They do get 2 kills. They're on point there. That's the last one. And I may have spoken way too soon.
They are now in a 7v3 situation, and the Condors could easily win this round. They just need to effectively hold irons, and as I say that, they all go down.
I should have kept talking. We know you have the curse today. The second I gave it back to you, it fell apart. Yeah, they held iron as long as they could have, but unfortunately, what do you do when you're outnumbered like that, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate situation. I'm not sure who's going to get the defense for this round 5. I believe techs were tied, so it's going to come down to eliminations.
Okay.
I would think the Condors maybe are in a better spot. As I say that, we will be going on to defense. I just need to ensure that they do what they did in the 3rd round and not the 1st round.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you prefer defense on this map?
Yes. Control, unfortunately, is a game mode where you want defense.
Well, Condor is coming in with the upper hand. We'll see if they can make the most of it right now. They're getting dropped like flies. They'll get an answer back on Slosh there. But very quickly, T gets eliminated. You know where that player is. Wrench goes for the kill and gets blown up by the van.
Yeah, very unfortunate need calling there, especially with the van not blown up. They just have to communicate what they're doing with their util. As this all happens, we're going to go 4 down. This is in a situation where there's only one person towards B. They could definitely get this individual off, but they just need to start playing as a team.
Great pick there from Savvy. He knew exactly where that player's going to be waiting. Another one other side. That's going to be great for the team. Buys a lot of space for them to get some of that map control back.
While we're saying this, we can see kind of the Bears have an individual now in our spawn. He's kind of creeped through. My guess is he's going to kill T in the back here.
Yep. Good prediction. I mean, well, I wasn't hoping that you'd be right, but good prediction.
Very unfortunate. Something that's kind of benefiting us right now is that the Bears are not getting on the objective.
Well, we got comms that we have someone hanging out by trees on street there, and unfortunately they can't get the pick off on it. From the backside though, Wing does drop one. He knows who the other one was, but where did they go? Can't find them. So we'll just hang out onto the point and clear that tick.
And this is now 4 down. The first 3 died a little bit earlier, but the Condors should at least know that they're all going to be coming from their spawn now.
Those chows are a little bit troublesome. T gets taken down. We do have feet on the point here. It's Wing again, locking down B. He's got another one pushing up on him. They get a pick, team kill. The Condors let that clock start ticking down once again.
Definitely. And this is a situation where the Condors need to either decide, do we want to try eliminating this now, or do we want to get them trapped in the A control site and take lives? Because we're coming down to a time now where there's only 11 lives for the East and 9 lives for the Condors.
Wing was trying to get a couple picks there. We have 2 mash from each there. Both Wrench and Wing getting some solid kills here. They're trying to keep that A point from getting locked in. 1.7 seconds left. The Condors get this final kill. Savvy's looking for it. It's going to be his teammate Wing. And the Condors do lock it in. But by golly, was that a close one?
Yeah, that was a very close map. You got to give the Bears their credit there. They were definitely causing our guys to look scrambly at times. But effectively, the Condors were able to come out with a round 5 victory.
Yeah, not as clean as maybe we thought it would be at the beginning of the day, but at the end of the day, it is still a 3-0 sweep for the Condors. A little bit messy. I'm sure you got some notes for the squad too. You're going to be bringing back to them, and I'm sure they're discussing some of that right now too.
Yeah, definitely for sure. There's a few things, a few pointers that we can kind of point out. Like we said, this is Wrench's first official match, there's definitely things for him as an individual to learn off of, as well as our team. Even though Black Ops 6, we're coming to a near end with it, we can still learn.
Yeah. I mean, there's still like the communication aspects of it that you were touching on a little bit there. I mean, that transcends all games, let alone just 2 versions of Call of Duty. So I think those are things you can work on as well. You said communicating what you're doing to the team.
Yeah, definitely. Communication is such a big factor within esports, but especially in Call of Duty. Call of Duty, we speak a lot quicker than some esports.
Well, a lot's happening.
Yeah, lots happening, and if you don't have clear communication, somebody might miss a comm, or if they don't say what they see, it could cause for their teammate to die.
Okay, well, before we send it out here, I just want to get some final thoughts on that. I mean, we do have coming up in a little bit, I believe, about 25 minutes out here now. We've got the Varsity squad getting ready to drop into their matchup. Just recapping kind of what we saw today. I mean, what do you think of the play overall, and maybe what we're expecting with the St. Clair match with the Varsity squad coming up?
I would say to sum up that series, it was as expected, a 3-0. I think as long as we get the win, we should be happy. Could have been cleaner, yes, but we're still very early into the season. When it comes to the St. Clair series, I think that's going to be a fire series.
Yeah.
You know, they're our Canadian neighbors,
Yep.
and kind of the top dogs when it comes to collegiate COD. So it'd be great, you know, to be the undefeated team over St. Clair. And I hope it's a great series.
And for you, how's the heart now? You settled back down, haven't watched?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a lot more calm, but at the same rate, like my varsity guys, you know.
Yeah, same thing. You're watching, not playing. So
yeah, definitely.
that's what we're all going to be doing, is watching it, not playing. Fingers crossed, hoping they can take it. St. Clair facing down the Condors. Both teams are 4-0 in the league. One wants to go 5-0. We'll find out who it is in about 20 minutes, so please stay tuned.
Dogs for sure. Always been a dog guy.
Cats.
I think when I was younger, I'd probably go with cats, but I think as I grow up, probably dogs now.
I would say dogs for sure. I got a dog at home, so I like dogs better.
Hockey.
Soccer.
Definitely hockey. I've been a Bruins fan all my life, as controversial as that is. I love hockey.
I can't do anything with my feet right now, like soccer, I can't do it, so it'd have to be hockey for sure.
iPhone for sure.
iPhone.
iPhone.
iPhone. Never touch an Android.
Night owl.
Night owl.
Definitely a night hawk. I'm not good with mornings.
Definitely a night owl. Sleep schedule is not in the morning. That's why I'm going to bed.
Summer for sure. Yeah.
Winter.
Everything about summer except for the brutal heat.
It'll be winter for sure. I don't like the heat. And if you're cold, you can just warm up.
Twitter. I say Twitter.
Twitter.
Twitter, for sure.
Gonna be Instagram. Never really hopped on Twitter until recently.
Multiplayer for sure.
Multiplayer.
I've always been a Call of Duty multiplayer guy my whole life. I got a bunch of friends that do single player, but multiplayer is for me.
Gonna be multiplayer. I like the competitiveness. I think when I retire from games, probably gonna go to more single player.
Chrome.
Chrome.
Used to be a Firefox guy, now I'm Chrome.
Never touched Firefox in my life, so it's gonna be Chrome.
Energy drinks.
Coffee.
Gonna be energy drinks for sure.
Honestly, neither. All my caffeine comes from soda.
Game begin.
Off-seas, we've been around for about two to 3 years now. We started during the pandemic. We started with virtual tournaments, getting students, from across the province to be able to play together. One of our short-term and long-term goals has been to, provide an opportunity for an in-person event. We actually have teams coming from all over the province. Some of the other titles that we've supported through OFSI has been League of Legends, Smash Brothers, Valorant. So we of course have Rocket League. And our most recent one will be Minecraft Education. So we try to choose whatever title our players want to play. So as long as we have demand for a title, that's the title we go with.
begin.
Off-seas, we've been around for about two to 3 years now. We started during the pandemic. We started with virtual tournaments, getting students, from across the province to be able to play together. One of our short-term and long-term goals has been to, provide an opportunity for an in-person event. We actually have teams coming from all over the province. Some of the other titles that we've supported through OFSI has been League of Legends, Smash Brothers, Valorant. So we of course have Rocket League. And our most recent one will be Minecraft Education. So we try to choose whatever title our players want to play. So as long as we have demand for a title, that's the title we go with.
While Call of Duty is a pretty straightforward game, you may hear a couple unfamiliar terms while watching. Let's go over a few of them. ADS, or Aim Down Sights. This one's pretty straightforward. It's the act of looking through a weapon's sights or scope for improved accuracy. Jump Shot. Jumping before or while in a gunfight to make your character harder to hit. Slide Canceling. A technique to quickly chain together tactical sprints, allowing for faster movement and evasive maneuvers. Pre-firing. Shooting at a location where an enemy is expected to appear before they actually are there. Head Glitch. When you stand behind an object that covers your whole body except for your head, making you a harder target for your enemy to hit. Drop Shot. A move where a player drops to the ground while simultaneously firing their weapon, making them a harder target to hit. Wall Bang. Shooting through walls or other surfaces to damage or eliminate enemies. Keep an ear out for other terms, but hopefully this gets you ready to follow COD's fast-paced action.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, you know the name and you know the voice. My name is Gareth, and I'm going to be joined with the brains of this stream,
Taylor McVitie.
All right, Taylor. It has been a crazy match so far. Just like Brody was saying, you were going to be playing on the team, but then you decided to step up to the caster's room, and now you're seeing the boys play live. And honestly, how's it been so far?
A bit stressful,
Yeah.
The last 3 years, always being able to play in the game, and I said, you know what? Let me take a week off and see what the other side's like.
Gotcha.
I don't know how you guys do this every single week, but
Well, it's a part of the job, all right? We got to be here every day, got to make people smile. But one thing I do want to talk about in terms of the players, so obviously you've seen a lot of them come and go, right? Do you think that this team is like the best it's going to be or the best it has been in the past years?
I think there's a lot of potential with this team. I think our iterations of our COD Varsity team have always been really well.
Okay.
I think with the drive that this team has, they probably could become one of our better rosters.
Awesome.
Or even possibly our best roster, but
Okay.
I don't want to discredit our previous players.
Oh,
'cause they were
100%.
great players.
100%, but with that being said, I've heard that Mintz is a bit of a monster, and I've seen him in, I believe, the first match that I was casting the Call of Duty Varsity. He was no slouch, and I think he's been improving since.
Yeah, for sure. He's just going to get better and better.
Yeah.
He's come from a search and destroy background, so
Okay.
he basically only plays one of the 3 objectives that we kind of play with in
Okay.
competitive COD. So he's still got a major learning curve when it comes to respawn, and
Right.
he's just going to get better and better as time goes on.
Yeah, okay. So would you say that it's fair to assume that if we do get caught in a search and destroy, that it might just be GG, like just because of how much of an advantage and experience Mintz has?
I wouldn't say it's just about mints. I mean, search and destroys, and I mean all game modes are all about teamwork and stuff like that. But I've seen every single individual here on screen take over at some point within
Okay.
search and destroy. I've played a lot of COD off stream with these guys, and any of them have that ability to get into the flow state and just take over.
Awesome. And speaking of, let's take a look at the flow state of all the teams so far. St. Clair is going to be rocking the top, of course, but hey, Cumberland COD Varsity is also up there, and same with the Conestoga Condors. All 3 teams are 4-0, but of course, tonight we're going to be seeing Conestoga versus St. Clair, and one person has to go home with a loss to their name.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely like the big match so far this year. As we see, 4-0 for both squads. Everybody else has lost a map except for one other team. Or sorry, a game, not map.
Yeah.
So this is definitely, we're no longer going to have 3 undefeated teams after tonight.
That is correct. And what makes this extra exciting is that historically, St. Clair has been our local rival for Call of Duty, both Academy and Varsity. I want to ask you all about that because I think you've played St. Clair, haven't you?
I've played them quite a bit in the last 3 years I've been here. I would say I had their number for a few years. I'm talking their academy, obviously not the varsity.
Right.
I had their number a few years, but last year they decided to fight back. We actually play them in 2 weeks, and they actually, as I stated earlier on broadcast, they have one of our former players, Perky, on their roster.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see where he is in his current state of Call of Duty. But I think this is going to be an excellent matchup. I think St. Clair has kind of always had our number when it came to the varsity side.
Right.
They're a very talented roster. I know the coaching staff over there at St. Clair, as well as the players, and they're really good at Call of Duty.
I mean, yeah, clearly, you know, it has to be some kind of achievement to be 4-0 and especially be some of the best, if I may say so myself, over the past years. So we'll see if they've still got it or if things have maybe deteriorated a little bit. Because, you know, rosters change, people come, people go. We'll see where they're at. And based on what you know from St. Clair, do you know anything about them from this year?
So this year they're returning with the same starting 4. So they don't have that new roster where they're going to have to go through this learning curve. A lot of them have already played Black Ops 6 before. Something in more recent, currently the Black Ops 7 beta is going on. And these guys love to live stream, and I know they've only been playing the beta on the broadcast recently. So there's a few mechanics that change between COD titles, so maybe it might catch them a little bit off guard tonight. But again, like I said, St. Clair's got some pretty good players as well as us. I think this is going to be a battle.
Oh, 100%. And I'm absolutely all here for it. Though I will say I'm not the most experienced with Call of Duty. So from what you've seen of BO7, what changes the most?
It has to be the wall bouncing. So they've added a new mechanic where you can run off a wall and bounce in a different direction. We still have the same kind of mechanics of movement within Black Ops 6, but they've added this aspect. I think as time goes on, people are going to find ways to abuse this new wall bouncing mechanic, and it's just going to make it harder, build that skill gap within the competitive scene, which I love. I've been playing the beta, and I've been trying to find ways to use it to win gunfights. I'm very much looking forward to Black Ops 7, but we have to stay focused on Black Ops 6.
That is correct, yeah. So honestly, when it comes to Black Ops 6, obviously you have been around the block in terms of the Black Ops 6. And so has the meta really shifted at all since maybe the start of Black Ops 6 or since the early days of Black Ops 6, or is it more or less the same?
I would say when it comes to weapons, the meta hasn't really changed much. There's a thing within COD, some collegiate teams follow it, some don't. It's called gentleman agreements.
Okay.
Basically, COD has its baseline of you can only use these weapons and these attachments, and then the competitive scene says no, these are still overpowered. We're gonna ban these attachments on top of that and these weapons.
Okay.
So that has changed the game throughout the year. You know, with a roster like our guys as well as St. Clair Varsity, we shouldn't see muzzles at all.
Okay. Very good. Well, you know, let's see if we don't see any muzzles, because I think we're going to be heading off with game number 1 with Hardpoint on Rewind.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be the first time we see Rewind tonight, as the Academy team played on Hacienda earlier.
That is correct.
And I know that our varsity team has played Rewind quite often.
All right. Okay. Well, honestly, let's talk about Rewind a little bit. Is this one of the maps that you would say the Condors are very comfortable with? Or is it something that's maybe a little bit newer to them?
I would say, luckily enough, we only have Neb returning, so there's been a major learning curve. I would say Rewind is probably one of their better maps for sure.
Okay.
But they're not in a scenario where, you know, they're coming from last year and it's like, this is our hard set map set. I think there's still that learning curve. You know, what is our best map?
Gotcha. I mean, honestly, Rewind for the Condors looked insanely good when they were going up against a different team a little bit earlier in the season. And it was a bit of a blowout, if I say so myself. But obviously, St. Clair is, I believe they're a couple divisions higher than the Call of Duty team we watched last time. But regardless, both teams are great. And I think, you know, there's a lot of strategies that are going on here. Have you noticed any particular patterns, like maybe bobbing and weaving around the dumpster or playing inside the movie shop? Like, what kind of goes on in the minds of the pro players here?
There's going to be default setups for every single hill. I think it really depends around your team. I haven't watched enough of our varsity team. I've subbed in for a few scrims for them, but I wouldn't say that I know exactly every single setup that they're going to have per hill, especially on this map. Very early into this game, I'll be able to kind of say what their setups are looking like. There are some default headies that some of your AR players are going to go to, but I wouldn't say there's really anything set in stone.
Gotcha. Well, let's see if we find those headies and all the other kind of crazy strategies you were talking about, because I think we're going to be kicking the game off in just a little bit. But before we do, I got to ask, do you have any predictions for this one?
Ooh,
in terms of score, maybe KD. Who do you think is going to be top fragging here?
Am I allowed to use players from each team?
Yeah, and one player per team, right? Who do you think is going to be the top dog here?
I think CWAD's on St. Clair.
Okay.
Probably going to be top dog. He's usually a pretty good player. I'm not trying to discredit our Condors.
Oh yeah, no worries.
But like I said, I know their players quite well as I know our players. When it comes to the Condors, I definitely think Mintz is probably going to be one of our front runners.
Fair enough.
But don't let Uncle Neb.
That is
let
correct.
You down. That guy will surprise you sometimes.
That is very true. You know, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks, eh? You know, Neb is full of energy despite his age, if I say so myself. But I definitely think that he's going to be kind of the old veteran that Conestoga needs to make sure that they keep their cool and keep their guns firing. When it comes to St. Clair's, though, is there an unk on their side, or they maybe got one more unk on us?
I wouldn't say there's an unk on their squad.
Okay.
They used to have a player, he's now their coach, named Brandon. I actually played in a summer league with Brandon, and I know he likes to play very strong fundamental COD, playing with your team, waiting for your players to come off spawn, challenging things together, key communication, and I'm sure he's going to ensure that his players follow that same format.
All right. Well, all right. Honestly, very good. And so, when you were playing with the coach man himself, were you able to kind of relay some of the lessons that you were taught to your own team, or was that all under wraps, or you were told the same thing by Potsy?
I think I like to play a pretty strict fundamental game as well. I very much like my players and my team to play kind of the same role. Now again, firepower, St. Clair is a little bit beyond our skill level.
Anything could happen.
But definitely, I would say me and him kind of meshed over the summer.
Nice.
Having the same insight of how we want the game to be played, and it definitely is something that I hope that we can continue to do.
Okay. And now, if I may ask about Potsy, is he more or less the same, or does he like have a faster style that he likes to teach people?
I don't know if I would say so much. Eric is the type of guy Potsy, I know him by his first name, is somebody that's going to, say this is how you have to play. He's going to let his players play their play style and kind of try to make slight adjustments here and there to help mold a better player.
Gotcha.
He's definitely helped me in the last 3 years, become the player I am today. I probably wouldn't be anywhere as close skill-wise if it wasn't for Eric or Potsy, sorry. I'm going to keep making that mistake.
That's all good. Eventually we'll get her down.
But yeah, he's definitely, I think he's more of a numbers guy. He's going to look at the numbers and say, 1 + 1 = 2. So.
Of course, genius. All right. Okay, so how many other math lessons has he taught you while you were being coached by him, or is that just the main one?
He's taught me a lot of math lessons, and I wish I could apply them to school.
Yeah, right.
It would probably help me.
So did he teach you angles for crossfires as well? Like, you need to hold this at a 79-degree angle, otherwise it's nothing.
I think he's just very good of, in heated moments, taking a step back and say, hey, guys, this is what I saw. Apply this to your game, and let's go based off of that. If it's something that doesn't make us better as players, he will take a step, or he'll say, okay, go back to what you were doing before. But if it is something, he'll say, oh, this is mine.
Awesome. Well, we'll see if his lessons rub off, because here we go. Game number 1 with whatever that guy's name is, with the first blood. And honestly, you might have been right. You said he was going to be the top fragger, and he's already got the first blood. And it's looking to be going in the way of St. Clair just for the first little bit here.
Yeah, definitely. And we can see that St. Clair's already have the rotation in mind where they've flipped the spawns. Where St. Clair is now spawning was where our guys originally were. That is where P2 is going to be. So they're already thinking one hill ahead.
Sweet. I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to give them a lot of the space that they need to pull off these rotations a little bit faster. So we'll see if the Condors can, you know, keep her going and actually create enough timing just to get everybody back on the board.
Yeah, definitely. And with 2 seconds remaining on P1, we can kind of see both teams are trying to rotate to that P2. Unfortunately, like I said before, St. Clair already had that in mind. I would say that's probably something that Brandon has told them, you know, think ahead.
Ah, I see. Gotcha.
And now we can see, you know, the Condors are kind of pushed up to the front of hill, but they're going to have to get a full wave of kills here. Unfortunately, even if they get kills here, St. Clair is just going to keep spawning close to the objective.
Yeah, it's going to make it a lot harder.
Say that the Condors are going to go 4 down. With 28 seconds left, they're going to have to start thinking, you know, do we just want to rotate here and give up this time, or do we want to try to break this once more?
Neb does manage to get a kill, but it might be a little too late as I'm seeing the St. Clair people start to rotate over. You know, I think the new point is going to be spawning pretty soon now. And so, you know, based on what you know about the St. Clair, do you think that they already have the new point in mind, or is this just maybe a stroke of luck?
Yeah, I could tell definitely with Conestoga pushing there at the end, St. Clair had that in mind and said, okay, if you guys want the back spawns of old, we are going to start to rotate to new. Number 3 was automatically on the hill as it popped, and the Condors are just getting the old time. We can see this is starting to somewhat spiral out of control, 61-7. But the next hill after this one is definitely the money hill. It's kind of an unbreakable hill.
Okay.
And unfortunately, St. Clair is already rotated to that hill.
Okay, and so when you're fighting an opponent that has really good rotations like St. Clair, how do you ever counter it aside from just winning your gunfights, or is there maybe something else that goes on too?
You're going to have to start playing well as a team and start to have great communication. I can see that the Condors are kind of playing more of a spread out team.
I see.
Kind of need to have each other's hands and just run through the map together. That was a pretty big kill by Sweep, and maybe these 2 St. Clair guys are going to spawn out. And as I say that, it appears they are not. So this hill is going to be really hard. The Condors are going to have to get multiple kills in a row to be able to break it, because St. Clair is just going to keep spawning close to each other.
And so how do you think that Conestoga could kind of manipulate their spawns to be a little bit closer, or do the spawns only change once the point is out?
It has nothing to do really so much with the objective. It's more just where players are. There's this thing in Call of Duty called blocking. Basically, if one of your players is standing close to a spawn point, the other team is not going to spawn there.
Oh, okay.
So Neb is getting close to that spot, and as we just see, the Condors are now starting to spawn here. But with 13 seconds left,
it's rough.
It's rough. We are now going to be rotating to a P5. We call this the generator hill.
Okay.
This is basically just a bang out over and over again. Highly likely that one of our AR players is going to swap to a submachine gun on this hill. But the Condors are going to have to make sure that they kind of hold this perfectly, which is just really hard to do.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you have so many entrances towards this point. It just makes it so hard to actually micromanage and check all your angles at the same time. That being said, though, Neb is having a little bit of success as Mince comes in from behind, manages to grab a quick kill and makes his way back onto the point.
Yeah, definitely. The Condors are actually doing really well here. From my experience with this hill, this is usually one of those hills where it just goes back and forth, back and forth.
Okay.
It seems that they are holding this hill quite well. If they can apply this to the second rotation, there's a very good shot that this game gets very close near the end.
I mean, yeah, we are starting to pull it back. For a while there, St. Clair had quite a lead on us, but now it looks like, you know, we're pulling it back. We have obtained like 40 points since this point has started here. Where is the next point?
The next point is going to be going to P1, so in the middle of the map again.
Okay.
As we see, St. Clair is kind of already rotated there, and kind of like they did on the first rotation, St. Clair is already keeping the P2 in mind. So they have number 1 who's just going to keep playing the street and try to ensure that Conestoga does not flip the map on them. And then with that, St. Clair is also getting this P1 hill time, which is just going to make it harder for the Condors to come back.
I mean, with that being said, I think Conestoga's. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say for a second there, they were really locking in. They had a lot. They had the player advantage, and I think they were able to take some more gunfights, some more favorable gunfights, anyways. But we're gonna watch as Mintz, the potential top fragger here, managing to get one. Can he get two? But unfortunately, St. Clair is gonna be holding a pretty tight of an angle. And now things are going to be slowing down once again. Honestly, I think, you know, and maybe you can speak to this as well. When something doesn't go your way, like a streak of gunfights is just bad, do you want to get back in there and try to pick off the lower health enemies, or do you want to wait to just kind of regroup, get everyone alive?
It's very much like, depending on the scenario. If you know that individual is weak, probably should challenge it, and you know your teammates are getting the close spawns. In this scenario where the Condors are kind of spawning really far away, they should probably try to wait for each other and break the hill together.
Okay.
As we see, Mintz was just able to get a pick, but that St. Clair individual is just spawned up really close.
Honestly, great grenade combo from Mintz. He forced him to move or take the bomb. And, you know, it was a bit of a win-win scenario. It did get him a kill, but unfortunately it did not get him a bunch of points, which I think at this point is what Conestoga needs. So, you know, game one might be to St. Clair, but that's A-okay, because you know what? It's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to get time to read your opponent and start adapting.
Yeah, definitely. Something that's kind of key to point out here is number 6, who just won their gunfight, Hope. He's in a very key position here going into these next 2 hills. If the Condors can hold this hill, they should keep a rotation automatically to the money hill. That will help them get closer to the 100 mark and could lead into maybe a potential comeback.
Okay. Are there any special bonuses that happen at the 100 mark, or is that more just like a mental thing of like, yes, we did it, guys?
There's a term within COD known as 100-point clubbing.
Okay.
So basically, if the other team doesn't get 100-point club or 100 points, you can say we 100-point clubbed you.
Okay.
There's also a 50-point club, which is quite embarrassing.
Yeah,
but
that would.
I don't think that's something that these players should be keeping in mind right now. They should be just focusing on getting the win. Unfortunately, St. Clair was able to win off that last hill. That was very much a map that St. Clair dominated on. As we see, they won 250 to 65. You know, maybe I'm not sure really if maybe this is St. Clair's map pick, which it potentially could be if they were team 1 within the veto system, and hopefully they were. So going into the search and destroy, this would be a Condors map pick. Like I said before, Mintz has kind of more of a search and destroy background. Maybe that's a spot where, you know, the Condors, the Condors just say, you know what, forget about map 1. It was a donation. Let's go into this map 2 and try to even out the series and turn it into a best of 3.
Awesome. Well, hey, you know, we'll see if your theory is correct. As you know, St. Clair did manage to take round 1, and unfortunately, Mintz was not the top fragger. It was Neb though, so you were very much correct. You know, sometimes the old guy has got some tricks. That's, you know, a lot of people forget. But the damage was looking very good with St. Clair's 2.7k, I believe, on the top members. That's tough to top, especially for something like Hardpoint, where it's all about the rotations and it's all about, you know, getting those points.
Yeah, like I said, St. Clair played that map very well. They were always able to rotate early within the map and ensure, you know, we have a rotation to the next hill. I'm going to call upon a former player who used to play here.
Okay.
Jay Ray used to be the academy lead, and one of the things he said to us when he coached us was, ensure you always have the rotation to the next hill.
Okay.
Play a hill ahead. It will help your game so much. And when he told us that, it changed our academy flow so much.
Okay.
And I can definitely tell that that is something that St. Clair is considering tonight.
Sweet. And actually, that kind of ties into a question I was going to ask you. If you were going to be the coach for Conestoga here, or were on the team for the varsity team, what would you be saying to them to get them back on track? Or, like, what do you think they could change to pull that match back?
In this certain scenario right now, you can't just sit here getting angry over the first map. You have to move on.
Okay.
There's a reason why this is a best of 5 series. whatever, map 1 is what it is. Let's move on. We can discuss what went wrong after the series is over.
Gotcha.
As we can see, the players are already starting to fist bump each other, so
Nice.
it looks like they're going to be locking in.
Sweet. And you know what? This is going to be Search and Destroy. Not quite hard point, but I think it's kind of similar.
I wouldn't say so much.
Bummer.
This is 1 life per round game mode.
That's right. That's
so
right. Yeah,
this is going to be a lot similar to, say, like Counter-Strike or Valorant, where one team is going to be on offense, one team is going to be on defense. Basically, you either have to kill the other team
or plant the
bomb if you're on offense.
Gotcha. And how long do players have when they plant that bomb? Is it 7 seconds or is it more?
To defuse the bomb, it's 7.5 seconds.
Okay.
Which is kind of a key thing to know. Especially if you are trying to retake a bomb site, it's kind of like, okay, there's 20 seconds left. I have approximately this much time left to retake the bomb site.
Gotcha. And when you're defusing the bomb, if you get it to like, maybe 3 seconds and you stop to go take a gunfight, do you and if you start defusing again, does it restart or do you have to start at 3 seconds?
In quick play, it will resume where you left it off. In competitive, it will fully reset.
Okay,
so
all right.
Basically, at 7.5 seconds, you need to hop on that bomb. A lot
no
of time,
matter what, just pray.
Yeah, just pray. And it's funny that you say pray. I have seen individuals in the past at Condors Esports hop that bomb at 7.5 seconds, and the other team does not check it.
What?
Or they check it at the last second and they just
wow. Okay. Well, you know what? Just like I was saying earlier, anything can happen today. The only thing that matters is can we lock in? Can we figure out the strategies? And are we going to be able to play our own game? Because I feel like a big part of COD is, if you happen to be facing a really good team, that can sometimes get in your head where it's like, man, they're outroaming us, they're out-fragging us. How are we going to do this? And I think it's just important to just focus on your game plan. Say to yourself, okay, like you said, we lost map 1, but map 1 is completely irrelevant to map 2. What can we do as a team to bring our morale back and, start fist bumping again, start, getting the vibes up and getting back into it. So when you were a pro player, what was one of the ways that you managed to keep your mental in check as well as potentially other players' mental in check?
Kind of like what I said before with like Coach Eric, or what I would be saying. It's kind of like, Potsy. It's one map. There's a reason why this is the best of 5. We're not done. We're not out of the series. Just forget about what just happened. Go back to your fundamentals of what you've set up, either in scrims or from your past experience, and apply it.
Gotcha. And then when it comes to hardpoint here, that's the game mode, right?
No, we're going to Search and
Destroy. Oh, jeez, okay. Listen, I'll get it one of these days. Sorry. So when it comes to Search and Destroy, based on what you've seen from the first round, what do you think the Condors are going to be really strong at? Like, could you predict anything going into this map number 2?
I can't really predict anything because I haven't really watched much of their Search and Destroy gameplay.
Okay.
I for sure have played Search and Destroy with a few people like Mince and Neb. For the most part, with the map that we're going to being Protocol, it's one of those maps where it's like you show a presence down underground, which is where one of the bombs is, and you zip back up and run to the opposite side of the map. Or you just fight it out underground.
Okay. All right. Honestly, yeah, we did see a little bit of that in Hacienda in the first game. We had some double fakes and even triple fakes that were starting to go on. Do you think we're probably going to be seeing the same thing when it comes to Protocol?
Yeah, I think at this level, you're definitely going to see fakes coming out from both teams. It's definitely one of those things, kind of like Val and CS, if you're more familiar with that, sending a fake to the other team, hoping that they rotate to that bomb site, and you can go to the other side of the map with a fake, and get a free plant.
Gotcha. Well, usually we call that trolling, but that's a good way to put it. A little bit more professional.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's so much trolling. Like, if my teammates say, hey, I see 4 on B bomb site, I'm going to count that or hope that they're telling me the truth. And all 4 are there. In scenarios where, maybe we see 4, but we haven't seen them for a while, I might say, you know what, I'm just going to stay back here and ensure I lock down this other side of the map. Ensure your ARs have sight lines in case that they do make rotations.
And so when it comes to the differences between SMGs and ARs, what do you think is really the difference between them aside from, like, maybe damage and firepower? Is there a range advantage or disadvantage? How's that work?
There definitely is a range. SMG is better close range. AR is better at distance. But to be honest, both weapons can be used by the correct individuals at any range. We saw earlier today, Savvy was able to get an insanely long distance kill using the submachine gun. Something I like to reference, at least the sub in this game, I call it a shotgun. Because the thing at close range, if you're an AR player, you have no shot at winning that gunfight.
Okay. That's good to know. And honestly, obviously, I don't know how much you could speak on this, but if you could add any kind of guns, like a shotgun or maybe a railgun to Call of Duty, which one would you be adding?
To like the competitive scene?
Yeah, like to anything at all.
I mean, I gotta stay straight up. It's gotta be a sniper, but I just know that the sniper's just not gonna be allowed in this title.
No, why? Like, would it just be too hard to use because everybody has so many movement options, or would it just be...
Not too hard to use, and it would be too easy to use because with aim assist and it being a one-shot kill,
right,
literally you would just have to hold down a lane and let the person appear on the screen, shoot, and dead.
Gotcha. All right, well. We're almost going to be heading into game number 2 here, but, the monkeys at the server are not being fed enough bananas, so right now we're going to have to get a little bit of a restart going, making sure we can try things again. But, overall, great start so far. A little bit of shooting from the allies, but that's okay. Who doesn't like to shoot their teammates every once in a while?
Yeah.
Wing certainly likes to lob a few bombs.
Yeah, in Call of Duty, because there's really no way of telling the other team that there's an issue, usually shooting your teammates means that the other team needs the game to be ended.
Oh, okay.
So I believe St. Clair is hosting the series, so something must be wrong with one of our players' setups, so we're going to go into a bit of a tech delay until we can
worries
figure
at
out.
all. That just means I get to pick your brain more about the matches that are coming up. So honestly, when you went to did you ever go to St. Clair, or did you just play with the players?
I haven't played so much with the varsity players. I've played against them on our academy roster.
Right.
But like I said, their coach Brandon, I got to play in the summer league with this past summer. I've never actually gone to St. Clair. They do host a few events there throughout the year for Call of Duty, but I've never actually attended one.
I see. And when it comes to the summer league, is it kind of like a scouting period for the term ahead, or is it just its own thing?
No, it's actually just a league that actually our coach Potsy puts on.
What?
It's a bunch of Canadian collegiate players. We pay a little bit of a fee. He does a drafting system, and it's basically just to get to know other people within the collegiate Canadian COD scene.
Very cool. And honestly, you've probably been to those a couple times, because I think you're pretty well connected, aren't you?
When I first joined that summer, Eric didn't host the league. I'm actually not too sure why he didn't. This past summer, he decided to host it again, and it was the first time I got to play in it. But I had a fun time. For the most part, the players I was playing with, I knew who they were by name, but definitely, got to connect a little bit more with them, dig their brains on what their mindset is within the collegiate and COD esports.
Sweet. Well, I think we're going to be seeing what's going on inside the minds of both of these players as map number 2 is finally underway, with KB picking up the bomb and basically making a beeline towards, it looks like the A site, but maybe we could see a fake out here. So first blood from Neb as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then we're seeing Seawads get 2 kills, and we're now going into a 1v3 situation where Sweep, unfortunately with an AR, is going to have to take the bottom bomb site. It's not impossible to take, but it's very difficult to do.
It certainly seems impossible with that double swing there. He gave away his position. One of the St. Clair players, they were just sliding out, and they managed to just see a few pixels, and he's like, boom, he's right there. Last player remaining made the double swing that much easier.
Yeah, and now we get to watch the round fold out for 24 seconds because, well, actually we're not, but Activision does not care that their settings in-game are not right.
Of course. Well, I've once heard from a few people that Call of Duty is a flawless game. There's no bugs in sight, none whatsoever, and they may or may not have been sarcastic.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a bug ever in a Call of Duty title. Definitely a AAA title.
That's good. That's exactly what we want to hear. All right, well, you know, my big question to you is, do you think there's going to be any bugs, if they exist in Call of Duty, for the second round?
There shouldn't be.
Okay, all right.
For at least Search and Destroy, we should be good for the rest of the map.
Okay.
But again, it's
anything can happen.
Anything is possible.
All right, well, we'll see if you are right. So here we go. Honestly, based on that first round, what were you seeing the St. Clair players do that, you know, maybe Conestoga, you know, could adapt to? Like, are they grouped up a lot? Are they a little bit too spread out?
I wouldn't say they're too spread out. I think they had a pretty fundamental hit. One of their players decided to jump over the ledge and try to catch some of our players off guard. I saw some very known stuns and needs off rip.
Okay.
As we can see in the round right now, the Condors have planted the bomb underground and are in, I don't know if it's a 2v1, 2v1, 3v1 situation. So kind of like what happened before, KB, who I know is going to be running an AR, has to retake the bomb site, which is just very difficult to do. And the Condors tie it up 1-1.
Let's go, baby. All right, so I think the rule for this game is no ARs when you're going to take underground.
Yeah, it's definitely, as somebody who's played the AR in this game, it's very difficult to retake that bomb site. Being the only one back up alive, that doesn't mean you can't do it. Just
you'd rather not.
Yeah, you'd rather not.
Gotcha. Well, you know, taking a look at the KDs. Honestly, I thought we were going to see C-Wads as maybe the top fragger, but for now, anyways, it looks to be Rooper. And Hope is actually going to be the top fragger for this team as well. Mint's unfortunately not rocking any kills. So maybe that'll change with round number 3 underway. And already Underground is popping with everybody running down there. Let's just hope that the AR doesn't have to retake.
Yeah, we're already down 1 life here, or sorry, 2 lives in now a 3v1 situation, and it is Sweep who's going to have to retake. He's going to take a different approach here, and it looks like he's going to go down zig steps. But as we can see, unfortunately, he made the sound cue of opening up the door, and St. Clair said, you know what, we heard that, we know there's a good shot, you're coming down spiral steps.
Yeah. We'll punish you for it.
St. Clair had 2 people watching. It's going to look like this individual was shooting at the player by himself, but he had a teammate right behind him.
Of course, yeah. Shooting. Honestly, I've been noticing that a lot with St. Clair. They're very, very team-oriented, where kind of like what you were saying with the main fundamentals, wait for your team, take your time, and especially in that situation, they have the bomb, so the timer is on Conestoga to get stuff done.
Yeah, some very basic COD, you know. If you're one player and you have 4 people shooting at you at the same time,
you're probably not winning.
Bullets don't curve. They go straight.
Of course.
So it's going to be very hard to be able to get all 4 kills at the same time. Unfortunately, the Condors got picked off here, but 2 already. Big Neb and Hope. This leaves Sweep and Mints in a 2v4 situation. Very likelihood they're going to try to get 1 or 2 picks before planting this bomb. Mintz took a risk there by trying to get a kill on his own, and now Sweep is put in a 1v4 situation.
Oh, that was almost really good. Yeah, you know, he did get 1 for the road, but unfortunately he wasn't able to shoot enough bullets into the St. Clair player. C-Wads, and unfortunately bit the dust. I think he went for a knife there, too.
So there's this thing in this game called body shielding, where basically you can capture a player's body and use it as a body shield.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and C-Wads, it appears like that's what he was trying to do.
Okay. Like he thought he was dead kind of thing?
No, C-Wads was trying to take the body shield. It's kind of a, haha, I got you as hostage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As we're going into this round, Condors are now down 3-1. They're going to be showing that underground presence, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like they're going to be going to B-bomb, as number 2 is already planting B-bomb. Sweep is going to have to turn around. At least he's going to get this back heady, but the Condors are going to have to retake this 4v4.
Yeah, and based on what we've seen so far, even if it is a more advantageous site for Conestoga, St. Clair's is not ready to give up anything for free.
Yeah, and basically the individual that we saw there get the kill, which was KB, he was ensuring to his team, hey, nobody can flank you guys, just focus on what's ahead of you. And as I'm saying this, the Condors all go down.
Let's go.
No,
we got it, actually. We got it.
He ninja defused. Actually, that.
Oh, really?
Yes, he must
it was
have
so sneaky, I didn't even see it.
That was actually very great play by whoever. I believe that
there he is.
Yeah, Ninja defusing.
Wow, he ducked behind the bombs, and I guess St. Clair just thought there was maybe one person on site, because historically, Conestoga's played very spread out.
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike CS and Val, Call of Duty does not make a sound in-game when you're defusing the bomb.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right, that changes quite a lot.
So it's usually you have somebody who is your designated bomb checker to ensure that that doesn't happen.
Okay.
It seems that St. Clair let it slip. So we are now in a rounds of 6, and the Condors are losing 3-2.
Well, hey, you know what? Maybe that's the mental boost that we need to start, locking in fully and saying, all right, guys, we got a free round on them. Let's try to cheese them again. Maybe there's a cheeky angle we can pick up, maybe a heady that they don't know about. Whatever it is, let's throw it out here. Because what have we got to lose in this series?
And looking at how the Condors are playing this, they're looking for St. Clair to overstep. They're playing very slow, hoping that one of these St. Clair members decides to try to run through their spawn. And St. Clair is playing very disciplined, and they are just going to continue to... and unfortunately...
Oh, that's rough. Hope tried to go in for to try to clean up the play, but unfortunately did not go his way as the crossfire from St. Clair was set up. And unfortunately, St. Clair is going to be taking round number 5. That was right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now we're on round 6.
That was round 6. That was on mine. The Condors are now down 4-2. As Rupert Skywalker, I believe he just goes by Rupert, was able to get that final kill.
Okay. Have you played with Rupert before?
I haven't played with any of the guys on the varsity team.
Oh, that's right.
I've played against them. The only individual I've played with is Brandon, who is their coach.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So we are now going into the 7th round with the Condors down 4-2, and they will be on defense. It looks like Neb and I believe Hope are going to try to put some bottom control. Unfortunately, nobody's here by St. Clair. They're actually going to drop down to mid.
Rupert with the bomb, though, playing with a little bit of fire as he runs in there, slides, but manages to get caught. And now Vince is going to try to hold the angle, but KB picks him up, and actually Conestoga brings it back.
Yeah, good effective trading there. We're now down only by 1 round. Easily, the Condors could make a comeback in this map.
Okay. Is that the fundamentals that play for the Condors?
I think fundamentals, but also having good sight lines. 2 of their players decided to drop down big door, and whoever was back left on the map was able to call that out for their teammates, so that Neb and Hope both knew, hey, there's 2 people here, and from that they were just able to effectively trade each other out.
Awesome. Well, we'll see if it happens again, because I think this is round 8 is now underway, and I believe it's Conestoga on the attack. No, they are the defense.
No, the Condors are attacking.
Okay. First time's the charm.
Yeah, it's great. As we see there, Hope is going to go down and put the Condors into a 4v3 situation. We still have bomb, which is fortunate, but you can see St. Clair has kind of gotten some pretty good map presence as well as control. The Condors are either going to have to figure out, are we going to try to get a pick here? That's what Mintz was trying to do there. Unfortunately, he was not able to win the gunfight, putting us into a 4v2 situation.
But still winnable. We've got 40 seconds to work with. We can just kind of wait for St. Clair to overstep, and just like that, Neb manages to win a gunfight pretty much for free, honestly.
Yeah, and now we're into a 3v2 situation. Neb doesn't want to risk planting the bomb here with his teammate already having helicopter control, so he's going to go into bottom blue here and try to get this kill.
Unlucky.
Unfortunately, with 20 seconds left and the bomb being down bottom blue and Sweep having an AR, it's going to be very hard for him to be able to get this bomb.
Oh, bummer. Well, I think the thought was there. Maybe we were a little too aggressive in the first part. Mintz was trying to take that gunfight, but little turn at the wrong time, got his back turned, and that gave St. Clair a free pick and allowed them to swing the numbers in their favor and eventually snowball that into the round win.
Yeah, definitely. Going into this next round, I'm very curious to see how St. Clair is going to react after losing the last offensive round. I think the Condors need to kind of play a wide spread, get information here, and then regroup together. Unfortunately, we don't want them to get picked off individually.
And aside from grouping up together, how do you think that they're going to be making sure they don't get picked? Like, do they just change their angles of attack or defending, or how's that going to work?
It's basically just trying to get information, other than that being shouldering, kind of like what Hope is doing here. He's trying to get information through the steps. I believe Neb was able to spot one of the St. Clair members there. He should now be communicating this, especially with somebody this far forward. And you can see the Condors are starting to make a push here, effectively trading each other out.
That was actually really big because Rupert actually had a heady on the helicopter, if I'm not mistaken, which would have made the site really hard to take back after a plant, but Conestoga was able to pick him off.
Yeah, now something that St. Clair has done is they've effectively seen, either through their mini-maps and the amount of red dots or just calling out, that there is 3 members at the B bomb site, and they've now retaken the A bomb site for free. The Condors are going to have to effectively try to retake this bomb site together by trading each other out.
Gotcha. I mean, we know where some of the members are. One of the Condors goes down. One of the St. Clair's members go down. And now, unfortunately does not win the gunfight. Sweep into 2v1 and cannot take it. St. Clair takes round, well, honestly, map number 2.
Yeah, definitely. The Condors are now down 2-0. And they are going to have to go into this control with their lives on the edge, basically.
Well, let's just hope that map number 3 is Hardpoint.
It is not. It's control. Sorry to...
Oh, man. All right. No. I think if we really lock in for map number 3, Mintz can get his Hardpoint that he so desperately wants to play on in map number 4.
Yeah.
Surely.
I think that the Condors have to just regain after these first 2 maps and say, you know what? Sure, we're down 2 maps, but going forward, let's just try to take this map at a time. They're going to have to reverse sweep here to keep the undefeated record. And I always have a saying, some people on my team don't like it.
Okay.
The only way you can reverse sweep is by losing the first 2 maps.
You know what? That is very, very valid. And let's hope that the varsity team has the same mentality. And let's also hope that Mintz can get onto his Hardpoint game, because I feel like, with all the hours, with all the years and dedication that he puts into that game mode, that he's just going to be popping right off, and we'll be seeing him top fragging.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I'm going to give credit still to Mintz. For protocol as a map, it's very hard to be running the AR on that map and be the kind of the guy popping off. It's an unfortunate map pick, but like I said, they just got to move on. We can see that Neb has taken his headset off, might be going to go use the restroom or go for a water break.
Maybe. Well, regardless of what it is, I think it's very important to do what you got to do. Make sure that you are actually in the right mindset to take on a map 3 and kick off that reverse sweep. But I do want to ask you a little bit more about maps. What is the best map for an AR then?
In this COD, probably Red Card, because it's all long sightlines. Is it the best map in the game? No, it's horrible.
No, how come? Is it because ARs are so good, or is it because it's so long?
It's so long. The hill of the map just looks horrible. It's the side of a soccer field. And in most games, teams are going to run 2 SMGs, 2 ARs. On Red Card, you can get away with running 3 ARs to 4 ARs on a team.
4 ARs. The quad AR squad would be a little devious. I don't think we're seeing Red Card in the map pool, eh?
I'm not sure what map 3 or 4 or 5 is. I think next map is Vault Control, so we shouldn't be... I mean, I know for sure Red Card, we don't play Control. There's only 3 maps that can be played in Control. But who knows? Maybe in the Hardpoint, if we get to it next, or the Search and Destroy.
All right. Well, we'll see coming into game number 3 here. Do you know the game mode for game number 3?
It's Control. So
that is correct.
Each team is only going to get 30 lives. One team's on offense, one team is on defense, and they're going to offensive team has to capture an A point and a B point. This is the same map that our academy roster played on earlier, and hopefully the Condors can get a win on it.
All right, well, I believe our the academy team was playing this recently, so maybe the Condors were talking to each other, passing down some ancient insight of the game that they just played, and maybe the varsity team will have the advantage that they need to take on St. Clair.
Yeah, definitely, possibly. I think Vault, it's kind of been a day one map since BO6 came out.
Oh yeah?
There's only so many ways you can play it.
Okay.
It's really going to come down to pure gunfights and team
Okay.
play. Kind of talking when you're on offense, if you are in your spawn and you get 4 kills, you're probably going to have to play for another wave of kills before you try to focus on the objective.
Oh really?
If you have mid-map control and you get 4 clean kills to the other team, that's the point where your team wants to hop the objective and try to get as many ticks as possible.
Gotcha. All right, yeah, so you can win by kills or by ticks. Although with all the gunfights, I would assume that Mince is relatively happy heading into this one.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely going to get a lot of kills on this map. I think this is probably one of our more even maps when it comes to a submachine gun to an AR player. So there's really not a disadvantage depending on what role you're running. So he should do quite fine here.
Yeah, honestly, like once you take the second floor of the inside part of the map, whatever that place is called, I feel like the AR is really going to be strong there because you can peek down the hallway, you can peek over the side railing and kind of see almost outside pretty much.
For the most part, I believe what you're talking about is catwalk.
Yeah,
if you are an
catwalk.
AR player and you are on offense, or usually on offense, you usually want to play the staircase.
Oh, really?
And use the top of the stairs as a head glitch.
Yeah, fair enough.
And just ensure to your teammates who are playing through the middle of the map, you can't die from this spot because I have it.
Okay.
That's kind of a key spot for an AR player to play. And then usually your other AR player is trying to help within the middle of the map or watching B Street.
And then, so with that logic, do the SMGs usually play underground because it is a little bit of a tighter space, or did they flex out a little bit more?
They can go underground, especially if you're trying to go like A to B, but you're probably going to see them more within the middle building, staying on the main level.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if that reigns true, because map number 3 is about to kick off as we take a trip over to Iraq 1991, where the vault takes place. Let's hope that we can get this reverse sweep going here. I'm hoping that's, you know, that little bathroom break or the water break, whatever kind of break it was. I'm hoping that Ned was able to rest, reset, and get his head ready for game number 3.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm very curious to see what St. Clair here is going to do off the push-off. It looks like they're going to send 3 to the A site, and like I said, number 4 is just going to play the cat steps.
And yeah, we're seeing that already. Ned able to hold all kinds of different angles from up here, but he's got to be careful for those bombs. You know, hard to see, very fast, and they hurt.
Yeah, definitely. And we can already see that St. Clair has decided to stick a member on each of the objectives. Conestoga is going to have to figure, you know, do we want to get them off A or do we want to get them off B? I would assume that they want to get them off B.
Okay.
But at this point, they've already let St. Clair get 2 ticks on B, and they are still capped.
Okay. So someone's got to push up. You know, hopefully nobody nades the van while we're hiding behind it. Because that would really suck, you know.
Yeah, we saw it earlier where one of the Condors actually team killed their teammate twice off.
Yep. Okay, let's try to not have that anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's any other like really big team kill spots on this map, or is it just like we were unlucky the last time?
I think it's just very unlucky. I mean,
okay.
really, any car on any map can explode.
Okay.
Kind of looking at the game, it looks like St. Clair has already won the round, so they must have been able to capture the objective fairly quickly.
Yeah, because
that's not usually something you see as much. When it comes to control, usually it's one objective at a time, but St. Clair was able to get both at the same time.
Got you. And yeah, you know, I was just going to bring up the fact that, like you were saying, St. Clair was playing very spread out in that map. They had one person on A and at least one person on B. And even when Conestoga was rotating, they still kept that one person on A just to, like, you know, push A as far as they could, like, you know, get as much usage out of it as they possibly could before starting that rotate over. And now Conestoga is going to make the offensive on the A site.
Yeah, and as we say that, the Condors are going to actually go 3 down and Mince is fresh off spawn. St. Clair is going to look to try to put the Condors into a spawn trap. If the communication's on key, St. Clair is going to know where these players are spawning.
Right. Well, honestly, Neb is actually doing quite well for his team, picking up a 2-piece and heading back onto the A site. Pretty much uncontested, but he's got to be careful of what lurks behind the corner, but Hope says no thank you. And honestly, Neb is going crazy there, hoping Neb able to hold down the A site relatively well. And honestly, maybe as St. Clair, even though the first round was so fast, you might be starting to sweat now, because you're like, okay, they're learning. That's a little scary.
Yeah, and in this scenario, we can see that we have 2 people trying to capture the objective right now, and the other 2 actually going down.
Oh, let's go, Mints. That's a 3-piece, baby. That A site is probably going to be his pretty soon. Any other members that push up to the A site are going to help him secure it. And then what happens if both sites are secured at the same time, like by different teams?
So one team is on offense, one team's on defense.
Okay.
One team is basically defending these 2 objectives, and one team is trying to capture.
Gotcha.
So there's no way that both objectives can be captured by different teams.
Okay, gotcha. And then when a point is fully captured, can the defending team like uncapture it, or is that just gone for the rest of the match?
So there's 3 ticks on each objective. Once the offensive team gets past that tick within the circle, it can no longer go past that tick marker.
Gotcha.
So there is a way to bring bring the percentage down, but once you hit that tick mark, that you can't bring it down any further.
Okay, gotcha. Well, we'll see if the Condors can grab a hold on a B site, as St. Clair moves onto it quite fast, but they are down a member for now at least. And Conestoga is maybe able to get the space that they need to really pull this round back in their favor.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to look like this round is probably going to come down to lives or time with 50 seconds left. The Condors need to effectively try to get number 4 out of their spawn, as this individual is just going to be annoying the entire time. You can see number 5 and 6 are trying to focus this. As I say that, one of them goes down.
That's unlucky. And C-Wads has a scout pulse as well, so that could give them a lot of very valuable information. But I feel like maybe in this round you just want to hold off and maybe just pop it off rip next round.
So that's actually a glitch within Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah?
Where it shouldn't be even an option for him to earn that. The only kill streak that you can use in respawn is a cruise missile.
Gotcha. Okay. So he will not be using the scout pulse.
No.
But St. Clair will be taking round number 2 regardless. And as we head into round number 3, you know, you can't win a reverse sweep without losing the first 2 rounds. We'll see if this is the beginning of the reverse sweep that you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of an advantage going into this round is the Condors are going to be on defense. For the most part, the team on defense usually has the advantage. Hopefully this map doesn't go as a 3-0 sweep to St. Clair, and at least our guys are being able to show a bit of a backbone and at least win this round.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we saw in that last round there, even though St. Clair was looking really good in the first round, Conestoga was looking even better in the second round. They pulled a lot of the kills basically out of nowhere and actually able to fight back. And there we go, Hope with the first blood right off the bat with a 2-piece to boot. And now Conestoga might be starting to feel themselves.
Yeah, as this is all going down, though, the St. Clair is showing a major B presence. As I say that, the individual on B is down. St. Clair now has full mid-map control, and the Condors are going to have to retake this site.
And honestly, it's going to be pretty hard because St. Clair is playing a very, very clean game of Call of Duty. They're spreading all their players out, and they're capturing all the lanes basically at the same time. If one person goes down, you know exactly where at least one member of Conestoga is.
Yeah, and at this point, it looks like the Condors are playing very spread out throughout the map. Unfortunately, they are dying at different times, so they can't really regroup as a team.
Yeah, it's harder to push, you know, as a team because if you have to stagger, you either have to wait for awkward timings or just kind of send it and hope that you hit your shots.
Yeah, and with how this map is going, you can see A has already gotten 2 ticks, and St. Clair is on B, about to get their first tick on that. And we get, sorry, not a team kill. It looks like one of our players was able to pull up somebody with a car.
Sweet.
And St. Clair has captured A. It looks like Neb
is on the hunt. He's on the prowl and he gets his meal.
At this point, we are tied in live 16-16. St. Clair wasn't able to get the tick on B, so Condors can bring that down. But I think they really need to focus on trying to get some map control here and getting a few kills. As we can see, the Condors are all bunched up on the
But Mince is certainly holding his ground, though, in the 2v1, and he takes it. Sadly, though, 2 members of St. Clair are going to be hopping out and make sure to clear that B site. Now Hope is going to be left to retake with Sweep to boot.
Yeah, and lives are probably going to become a factor here unless St. Clair captures this objective. There's 13-11 in favor to St. Clair, and St. Clair now has 3 members on the objective, but Mince is able to get 2 kills. It comes down to this 1v1, and unfortunately, we were not able to win it.
No, unfortunately not. You know, multi-kill. 3-piece to boot for St. Clair. Unfortunately not going in the way of Conestoga. And that is the first of 3 rounds, and I believe that's a 3-0 sweep for St. Clair. But we showed resistance, and that's what matters.
Yeah, for sure. I think that even though we lost 3-0 tonight to St. Clair, it's still the regular season. This is kind of going to be a learning lesson when it comes to our varsity team. They can definitely still put a lot of work in the next couple weeks leading up to playoffs and show St. Clair that we're here to play.
Absolutely. You know, just like you said, it's just the start. Everything is just getting kicked off, and there's a lot that both of these teams could be working on and figuring out for when they fight each other next. And I think that you said they're going to be going up against each other in the next 2 weeks?
No, in 2 weeks, our academy team will be taking on their academy team.
Okay. So maybe we can get Potsy to pass on whatever messages he learned here today and pass that on to the academy team so that they're just that little bit more ready. And we'll see how that goes, you know, when we get there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that maybe their academy team is definitely going to be a little bit different to their varsity team as well as ours. So I don't know if that information will help transferring over, but it's always nice to see our Condors going up against St. Clair.
That is very true. And if you want to catch that match, you can catch our stream on Tuesday when we kick things off, maybe with Call of Duty.
Tuesday is usually Rocket League and
that's
League of
what
Legends.
I meant. Well, hey, you know what? Regardless of what game you're a fan of, you can catch all of our awesome streams, and make sure you check out our Twitter because we'll be posting schedules there as well. But you know, going back to Call of Duty for just another second, what were some of the best outtakes or takeaways that you had from the games that we saw today?
So I think our academy squad did well. As stated before, this was Wrench's first official match with the Condors.
Okay.
It was luckily enough to be able to be on stream, so I'm happy he's able to say he's now 1-0 with the Condors. And when it comes to our varsity team, you know, it's just continue to build off what they know.
Awesome. Well, couldn't have said it better myself, and I probably couldn't say it better myself because, like I was saying before, you are the brains of the stream. Thank you very much for coming on the show. And you at home, if you enjoyed, make sure you stick around on Tuesday when we return with more awesome games. And we'll catch you later. My name is Gareth Warren, and this is
Taylor McVitie.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Game begin.
Off-seas, we've been around for about two to 3 years now. We started during the pandemic. We started with virtual tournaments, getting students, from across the province to be able to play together. One of our short-term and long-term goals has been to, provide an opportunity for an in-person event. We actually have teams coming from all over the province. Some of the other titles that we've supported through OFSI has been League of Legends, Smash Brothers, Valorant. So we of course have Rocket League. And our most recent one will be Minecraft Education. So we try to choose whatever title our players want to play. So as long as we have demand for a title, that's the title we go with.
Now then,